My name is Nathan Mott, and this is my Challenger versus Emerald series. Today's guest is Logan, currently the highest ranked Briar player in the world, consistently able to get Challenger with Briar every season on the North American server. In this video, we're going to be talking about his view on item builds, how to carry games with Briar, and most importantly, breaking down some common misconceptions and narratives with the champion. This video is brought to you by the We Teach League Coaching Academies. More about that later, but let's get into the details with Logan. Okay, Logan, first thing I want to start with is talking about your interpretation of Briar builds. Where are we currently at with this champion? This is your OPGG of your main account, I believe. What I'd like to sort of start with is like, could you tell me like a game to look at and we can maybe look at a build path?
Yeah, of course. I think almost every single game that you're going to see here follows like, that isn't Flex where I'm trolling with friends. Almost every game follows a certain a certain ideology, and it's not that much. But basically, the idea is I look at builds as two things. Okay, you have your core, and then everything else for that game. So core will always be my first two items, which there will be almost no variance in. So you'll see Titanic into Black Cleaver every single game. And then once I have my core, those are the items that like I buy these no matter what. It makes my champion feel like my champ. And then everything else after second item is counter enemy team in the most efficient way, or progress my lead. So you'll see if you check all of mine, it's going to look a lot like Titanic Black Cleaver X, Titanic Black Cleaver X. So you'll see against high CC.
So the third item changes a lot. The third item's the thing that changes, yeah.
It does change a lot, but there's only so many options, basically only like 4. So sometimes you will just see straight through. Yeah, I should have stat farmed, man. Like, look at these losses, man. Like the losses definitely look a lot more, same build every game because bruisers from behind don't have that many options. Their options are great, but what's a lot of options, right? But yeah,
so it seems Titanic, Hydra, Black Cleaver, this is your go-to at the rate. You think that this is like the best way currently to build Briar? Like, is this what you'll call like a bruiser Briar is currently, you think, the strongest?
Yeah, I think I always say that there's the amount of builds, she probably has like 15 playable builds, okay? But like if you're serious about your ranked grind, let's lock it on 2, okay? There's 2 main ways to play. I say from Iron to Diamond, play Blade of the Ruined King, Black Cleaver. And then from Masters onwards, go Titanic, Black Cleaver. The reality of that is that when you play a perfect game of League of Legends or as close to it as you can, Titanic gets so much more value because in high-elo you have smaller openings on people, right? Like people are going to realize when they took that extra step a little bit faster than lower ranks, right? That extra step forward. And that's where, when I can jump onto someone and add more damage in that smaller, shorter amount of time. So if I, W forward and then I cue them to stun, I want to auto-attack Titanic, auto-attack W2 all during that stun because that person's defensive play will kick in at some point and he'll start counterplaying me more. Whereas in the lower ranks, people don't realize that they're trolling as much. And something like Blade of the Ruined King is the best 1v1 item in the game, right? So you slam that and it just increases your odds of these random not planned fights will have a better chance to go your way. And that's something that again, man, everyone knows, Diamond and under, it's nonstop fighting for 35 minutes every game. So it's definitely better to give yourself like the better 1v1, especially when you're learning, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes. So having the bailout of I'm in the wrong spot, but I just blasted you. So it works out pretty well. But those are the main 2 builds that people should be going.
I see. So if you were to like play Briar and like quote unquote Smurf, you would just be playing the Blade of the Black Cleaver core up until Diamond Master tier.
I recommend people do that. Yes, I myself, maybe cringe, but I too, like most other content creators, at some point I did an unranked to Masters in which I did do Titanic Black Cleaver, just because I just feel like if you are watching an unranked to Masters, it's probably because you do care a little bit more about your ranked grind, because that's a specific type of content. Not everyone likes to watch these 3-hour videos, right? So I recommend you just start with what you're going to end at, right? wear the clothes. What is it? You dress for the job that you want, not the one that you have, right? So play the build that you are going to play. And there'll be benefits to it, but you'll be so comfortable with your damage and so on. So, but I recommend it. I can do that because I put in the hours, but I think people will learn more situations on Bork for sure.
So talking about the specific build path of the core, is there any items you tell people to preference, like the Tiamat over the Tunneler when you're building the Hydra?
Dude, your question could not be better, by the way. Exactly, yes. That is so important, by the way. So like when if you're playing Titanic build, for example, if you go just Tiamat, the damage sim of you just hitting a target dummy and getting every spell max value is going to be it's around 1400. And if you do Tunneler, it'll be, I think, 1240. So there's 160 single target damage
Wow.
worth of variance on just a standing still target. Now, that won't always happen. But it is worth noting that in a game that I am farming more, or my next game plan is that I am undeniably taking a full clear right now. I would, if I recall with 1200, I'm buying T-Mat because I know I want to full clear faster. So it ties into my planning. If I think that there's any chance for a random variant fight, get invaded, maybe they have a timer, maybe they have an aggressive laner, picking up Tunneler. Because the 160 damage, 250 health is the difference of you farming that campaign not. So 250 health is huge, especially early game.
So it looks like you do go Tiamat in these games. So what would have happened in these games for you to go Tiamat? Because you didn't go Tunneler here. Or do you just like building the Ruby Crystal and like delaying the Tunneler?
Yeah, I'm super nerdy with it. Now I think I try and prioritize one ruby crystal, one longsword every recall if I'm sub 1150 gold,
Hmm.
because like that little bit of health goes so far in Briar's early game. Because again, there's just some variance when you play Briar, man. You're gonna be in some bad spots sometimes. You're gonna get hit just a little bit too much. So I buy Ruby Crystal almost every single recall that I can. So if you see me with Ruby Crystal and Longsword, that's actually because I had sub 1150. I might have had 1100 in that small thing where it's like I'm not waiting 50 gold early game. Early game comes and goes very quickly. So I'll take the double longsword Ruby and send it. And
Yeah.
yeah, but you'll notice that a lot of times that you see me do double longsword Ruby, they're actually losing games, because if your game plan goes how you want it to, more times than not you'll see someone try and lock in Tunneler, or it depends on how much gold you have, but like right there, you see Tunneler Ruby Longsword, man, like that's a good early
That's
game,
a
right? Like,
fat base. Yeah, that's
yeah,
huge
you
base.
take the world by storm there. So yeah, the biggest thing I do is if I'm going to buy Tiamat, well, rather I could give you a bunch of nerd stuff, but 1100 double longsword Ruby, 1150 Tunneler, 1200. Think about the Ruby Crystal, or just lock the Tunneler. If you're 1225, Tunneler Pink Ward, or again you could grid the Tiamat. Once you go further, it's like once you're at like 1450, think about triple longsword Ruby instead of Tunneler or Tiamat, right? And if you're on 1600, I lock in Tiamat Ruby every time, because that is the best of both worlds. I get the 160 target dummy sim, and I have enough tankiness to pressure with it. So
And what
there's a lot to it.
when you build Black Cleaver? Any preference for the build path for that one?
Phage is a god tier component. Okay, you lock that in every time. I do think it's worth noting. It really depends on your recall, because let's say, all right, so Black Cleaver is 3,000 gold. If I recall with 1275, I'm not going Phage there. I'm actually on Pickaxe Ruby. Same thing, right? Damage, health, keep it moving. Because 25 AD on a burst, which is what I play for, right? When you W forward, you Q them. That 25 AD will scale better than that movement speed that you get, because they just chunk you out to half. You can't play the play that we're going for. If that's before a dragon, you can't play it. Your team might likely sack it, or you got to recall or something. You got to change something up, because I just put you to half. Whereas, like, I don't need the movement speed to continue to put you to 30% or lower. At 50%, you're not playing that fight. So it really does depend. But I would say if you can get Pickaxe Ruby, do that. At worst, pick up Phage. But it just comes down to your planning. Like, Do you need more tankiness? Are you almost dying? Pick up double ruby. Are you free to hit? Pickaxe. Need a little bit of both? Phage. It's pretty cool.
What about the smite? Is it blue smite every single game?
Optimally, if you're playing perfect, blue smite every game. You just like Challenger junglers will tear you up for not taking blue smite. It feels like, man, they will at one point just out tempo you super hard. So it feels must for me. I will say, it's definitely a good skill to learn because, like, you know, sure, just killing a camp, getting movement speed's cool, but there's a lot of outplayability with you like tagging a bush on a runaway, get the movement speed, make it to the next. Like it's actually like pretty functional and fun. And I view movement speed as can be damage taken, can be damage not taken, can be I got to the play in the first place. So I recommend everyone try and get to it. But if you're used to green smite, like most lower-elo players tend to like just being full health 24/7. It's not really a problem with Briar, I will say, because you're always W2ing and Eing, right? But some people like the tankiness because, again, if they're newer to Briar, you're going to take more damage on accident. So then that green smite will feel pretty good. But it just depends on what skill you're training right now. Like if you're able to work with your right clicks a little bit and dodging spells, blue smite probably has a better, place in your life. But if you're not there yet, you're still working on your combos. You can't really work on dodging their spells yet. Green smite probably locks you in. Just depends on your skill that you're working on, really.
So now talking about third item here, Logan, did you have like a cookie cutter third item, or do you think it's just purely situational? Like I'm trying to look here. It looks like a lot of Sundered Sky, like we're seeing third item.
Yeah, that's probably like 50% of games at Sundered Sky because it actually, like, to me, it's really fun. It adds a layer of skill to the champ because some of these outplays at 0 health when you're in these 1v3s, 2v3s, right? When you W forward. Oh crap, I'm in a 3v1. How do I get out of this? How do I buy time for my team to get here, right? I'm going to tag some autos and other people outside of my W, right? I'm going to go forward, hit the first person with W. While my cooldowns are down, I'm going to like try and hit someone else to heal to get to my next set. And it just adds like a really fun layer to the game. And its stats are everything that Briar wants. It's almost identical to Black Cleaver. So, 4,410, Black Cleaver's 4,420. So it's just every Briar stat in one item again. And small tidbit, like the Titanic build, right? Titanic scales with HP. So you do want every item to have HP, right? So that's that's why sometimes I will refrain from going to something like Death Dance. Death Dance does work really well for 1v3s in the same way. It's anti-burst, and you get to cleanse it and maybe heal under the implication that you can get a kill. But Sundered Sky scales for my late game a little bit better. So it's pretty cool.
What about Sterax?
Yeah, so the reality of a Briar player is that every team's going to have someone AD. Let's be real with each other, right? So more times than not, like 80% of games, I'm picking up plated steel caps, right?
Yep.
And then that would make my tenacity option Sterix. So more times than not, I will always try and go plated steel caps and Sterix if I need tenacity over going Merc Tread's Death Dance, because again, it comes down to the scaling and stuff like that. But yeah, it's Sterix. Like if I'm ever if I'm ever against like a team that I cannot outplay their CC. So that's very important. Cannot outplay. Like something like Ari can be outplayed. Something like Braum cannot be outplayed. Right? He will get you. So it does like matter how confident you are at juking their CC, or how much counterplay their CC even has. But that's an insta pickup almost always. So like you could see there's that 410 game, right? Galio you can't counterplay. Braum you can't counterplay at the bottom of your screen. Sorry, that red loss 410 17. I think it's at the top of your screen now, right in the middle. Sorry, dude, we are so bad at this.
4 kills, 10 deaths. Oh, here it is. I'm blind. Yep.
So like,
so you went Merc Treads and Sterax this game.
Yeah, because like they just had there's zero counterplay to that.
I see. Yeah.
And like, Kha'Zix doesn't auto that much. He's more so going to outspace you with Qs and Ws in later games. And Corky, man, what is that guy's damage profile anymore? Who knows? Man,
Yeah.
he's shooting me with spells. What is going on here? So like that's a game where definitely locking tenacity. Maybe
All
not the
right, I
best.
want to now look at LoL Analytics. We'll see what the general Briar community is building, what they're prioritizing. Look at some maybe win rates and pick rates. So looks like that Titanic is the most popular item, and then Blade of the Ruined King quite close second. The pick rate's quite similar.
Yeah.
This aligns with what you said, right? Like you would recommend Blade of the Ruined King, especially for new players picking up Briar and lower ranked players.
Yeah, if you actually change the thing, I'm not gonna say I'm certain, but I'm almost certain if you change the rank thing to like change it to gold, I think Bork's gonna skyrocket. And I think if you go masters, Bork will die off.
Let's have a look here. I just selected gold. Oh, what happened there? Oh, here we go. Yeah, you're right. You are exactly right. Yes, Blade of the Ruined King is
Yeah.
way more popular, I say, and then Emerald Plus. Yeah, so we did Emerald Plus. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
interesting.
so Emerald's right in the middle where like again, people are when people come to terms with who they are, what their goal is, it's an awesome thing. Like if you're not shooting for Challenger and you're shooting for Diamond, go the builds that get you to Diamond quick. Do it. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's really awesome to see like when people hit around Emerald, you can see they start like figuring out who they are, what they want out of this game, because that's like the hardest part about this game is actually just know what you want out of it. Logging on and playing is the easy part, right? But when you have a goal that you're going for, it is like this interesting thing. You get to decide what build I want to go, and Emerald seems like right in the middle of like where people figure out like, oh, you know what, let's go for Master. Let's see what we can do, and it's honestly badass. I'm not gonna lie.
What about any other first items, Logan? Anything else to mention here? Like this is just the best two.
Yeah,
Bit of
so
spoiler to anything?
the Briar community has this thing where like I don't know, man. They listen to non-Briar players, maybe not even junglers,
Oh,
about
no.
item strength.
Hmm.
And sometimes, man, it irks me so bad, man. I get so frustrated sometimes because I'm like, guys, when someone says Sundered Sky is trash, but it's a Cassante top player, okay? Through his scope, it probably is, because how many times is Cassante building Sundered Sky, right? It's probably terrible. Now that was made up, but yeah, so they do that all the time. So one thing I've been doing right now is like people are like, lethality's dead, you can't do it. I'm like, guys, do we see the patch? Have we seen Profane at 2850 right now? Are we serious? What are we talking about here? So I sent you a link to a huge Logan Jungle fan here, and sometimes I like to challenge myself against the community to just get rid of some of these like random thoughts people have. And so you'll see, man. I'll send myself on a lethality bender for the love of the
Hmm.
game, right? And
Right.
I'll try out different second, thirds, Axiomark second, Collector second, like yeah, man. This is one of the things that I do care a lot about. So first items, I'm not going to lie. The stats actually point to Collector and to Profane is better for lethality. I'm Profane till I die, man. I don't know if you played when Profane had the execute when someone was less than 50% when it came out. Bro, that was the most juice thing. Briar came out at the end of Mythics. What Mythic were we playing? Dustblade every game. Dustblade Briar. Bro, I get the kill and I can't get punished for like a small amount of time. It was sick. So I originally played this champ lethality. So that's
Yeah,
something
that's how I
I
learned it as well. I did the Hail Blaze
nice,
lethality thing exactly right. Yes,
really
before the Bruiser. Yep, full like
nice, dude.
assassin mindset. So,
Yeah,
so, so where do you think it's at? So why is this not the popular go-to now? Because I mean, this is an account you are still doing really well. I mean, obviously you've got a lot of mastery on Briar, right? Master tier is probably not your actual skill level rank. You're probably much higher than this, so technically might be smurfing. But why is lethality? Why did that change so drastically?
yeah. Yeah. There is a popular thought I have about that conversation. Like I obviously like, not to be Mr. Ego, I'm the best, right? But I get challenger every season with Briar. I obviously think that like on Bruiser Briar, I am a challenger player, and as a jungler, I would like to say I am too, right? People can have their opinion on my skill. It's up to them. But yeah, I didn't know where lethality Briar was, and it felt unfair to my challenger teammates to play a build that I wasn't for sure that I was that good at. but it also felt worse to go to plat where my jungling would just put them through the ringer, right? So so I had this master's account that I was getting higher rank, and I was like, okay, this seems like a fair middle ground to see just how far this could go. And this was a challenge that's taken me. I've been doing it for like this week, really. And I find it important to, not assume that you are these things, right? You do have to prove them sometimes. And, I will say Masters right now is getting like, I don't know what's going on with matchmaking here, but I'm getting GM players nonstop 24/7. So the lobbies don't even feel any different. So,
Yeah, these are still
that's a
hard
cool
games,
thing.
and it's still working. You still pop in 22 bombs and stuff like that, yeah, with this build. So, yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like this can definitely still work with full lethality, Briar.
But yeah. Sorry. I think your original question was, why don't people play this? I
Yeah, well, why
again,
did it
there's a lot of,
change? Why did it change so drastically? Because I remember there was no Bruiser Briar, really. It was literally just pure, it
yeah.
was like the Yomus or whatever. Even the, after that, the whole, I think it was Yomus, what was it? Yomus and
Yeah, it was Yomu's and then
Collector, right?
Eclipse.
Or
It was
Collector.
Collector, Eclipse, Youmuu's, and Dustblade. Because back then Eclipse still gave lethality. It was a lethality
That's
item
right.
when
Yes.
mythics were out, and people were loving Eclipse Collector, dude. That was like, man, on release, that was a crazy time to play the game. Everyone was building that one shotting you. It was sick. But yeah, Briar works really well with the lethality Eclipse because right, she's in bad spots. The shield works. Um, lethality builds you heal like 700 damage on a W2. So W2 is healing and shielding. You could do so many disgusting plays with it with a good damage profile. But to me, it's just community bias, like, which is something that I actively try and fight because I don't like people having opinions for no reason. I'm a big I do believe you're going to have an opinion, at least know why you think it. I think that's a very fair thing to say. And so, every once a season, I will see how far lethality can go before or if it will hit a brick wall. Last split, that was GM, and it was still feeling good. I forgot what I don't know. Something happened in life, and I don't know. I took a break for a second, but yeah, man, I definitely never brought it to Challenger. I brought it to GM though, and I think it's still really good. And I just think that popular, like, you know, community opinion is a crazy thing. Sometimes you hope to navigate it correctly, and steer people in the right direction with the things that are actually what you consider facts or as close to it. And yeah, and then if I could say one more thing, it's awesome streamer Dante's right. He goes on these rants, man. And again, man, me and him, I would say we're pretty cool, man. We've talked a few times. And he goes on these rants whenever someone's like, play a different champ, play Briar. He's like, Lethality Briar's dead. It was the most fun that you could play. That's it. And boom, 4,000 people, 4,000 people, junglers, doesn't matter what, just heard you say that Lethality Briar's dead. He hasn't played it since then.
Yeah.
What is it,
Not a
like
practitioner. Yeah.
with love? What does he
Spewing
know
out
about
stuff.
it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then all
So
those
yeah,
people come to your Twitch chat saying, this
they
is true.
say
What's
it
going on? Yeah.
every time. Every time he says a word, I get 4 clips in my DMs. I'm like, guys, what matters more, this guy who doesn't play it or the guy playing it?
The Briar guy.
Dude, man. So yeah, sorry, I got a tangent. My bad.
Third item now. We don't really see much Sundered Sky. You said that was, more so gauge if you said 50% of the time, but a lot of people are going Death's Dance third. What do you think's
Yeah,
going on here?
yeah. It feels sick, bro. Like one thing that doesn't get enough credit is Death Dance. Like, random league trivia for you. You probably know it, and you're probably close to it. What's the average bruiser items attack damage, right? On average.
I actually have no idea. I don't really look at that there. So that's a 60. Yeah. So I guess the
Yeah.
answer would be like 40, 50, right? Like what's that?
Yeah.
40. Yeah.
So
So
it's
that's a
40 on
lot more
almost
AD.
all of them.
Yeah.
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 The AD just cranks, bro. You feel God mode because everything else is 40, 40, 40,
Yep.
40.
40. There's 50 on Edge and I Collector's 50. Yeah.
Yeah, the lethality items get cranking, but bruiser items are like hard stuck 40. So when you throw a Death Dance when you're ahead, well, now I'm anti-burst, I'm going to cleanse, and I'm cranking damage. So the win rate of Death Dance third always looks so good because it's it's just so good offensively. And the times that you're building Death Dance third, you're likely already having a pretty decent game. And then you get the top end of it. It's like hubris first in that way, where like hubris first will always have a crazy win rate. Because when you get it and you're on those good games, man, you're scaling up, you're dropping 120 AD on one item. It's sick. And that's where I put Death Dance, where like when you can afford to just throw 60 AD raw on, oh, it's gonna get sweet. It's gonna get sweet real quick.
I see a lot of Spear Visage here. I don't think I saw much Spear Visage. I guess we just didn't get to that far in the game, right? Like,
I usually lose before I can buy it.
Yeah, okay. So you still think that Spear Visage is like a pretty common go-to fourth item?
I think if not fourth, just whenever you need magic resist, don't buy
go
Maw.
third. Would you go at third?
Man, some games.
Yeah.
Man, if some higher tier drafts get a little bit more annoying to play against, because people start, they care, man. They're trying to play things that are strong, and unfortunately, one thing that's been strong for a couple of years now is APC bot, APC mid, right? So when you're playing against these double AP carries and they're farming from screens away, so they're not missing any farm. They're perma scaled up. Sometimes the Spear Visage third is a must. It's just how it works. Now, I've noticed that in sub masters, people are playing more traditional comps, and you can get away with putting it later.
Yeah, but you lose a lot of AD. I feel like if you're not building at third item, you're probably not doing much damage at that point. That's more like defensive, really defensive, if you're going to go for that. I mean, I don't really say you go third item at all, right? So you seem to really like the AD. Third item.
It's definitely rare that you pick it up third. But I'm not afraid to do it. It's just it just that hasn't really hit that much. But APC is definitely popular, but luckily it hasn't been in my games for like the past 30. So let's keep that going. But yeah, no, I mean the later you can put it, the better. But I will say you won't really feel a damage loss, because at that point you do have hopefully Legend Haste, Black Cleaver, and then Spear Visage gives you 10. You almost have you have 3 seconds between W cast. So me being full health means that I have infinite damage. You got to run away. I'm good now, right? My W2 is healing 25% more. Depending on my build, right? The shield might come up. 400 health scales to my Titanic. Yeah, man, it's sweet. You definitely feel it compared to something like Sundered Sky, but you don't feel like a cannon minion yet. Now, maybe fourth item, if you're not doing something with that Spear Visage, you're gonna feel pretty bad. But it's sick. It is. Don't buy any other magic resist item ever. Spear Visage is also, last thing, 2,700, bro. Do you know how easy that is to buy? Actually.
Cheap, yeah.
You're buying what? Titanic's 33, 3,200, 3,300?
33, yep.
Yeah, and then Overlord's Bloodmail is, what is that? That's 3,300 too.
3,300, yep.
And then Sundered Skies over 3K. Was it 31? Yeah, dude, these things are so expensive in comparison. So those 3 items are if you add them all together, it's 1,000 gold more when you buy 3. So that means dude, I could buy this so fast, and I'm already building AD from that. If you're talking about Spear Visage double longswords 3,400, Overlord's 3,300. I mean, you're halfway there. You can put 20 AD on that quick.
And what are your thoughts on Guardian Angel on Briar?
Every build, last item, every time.
Okay, simple.
Briar in late game and mid and early game play so different. And I will say, more times than not, lower-elo players are just often, they just mess up more. The amount of times that a lower-elo player is thought about their play in late game and then brought it to life. I've been there, bro. The stress of a 30, when you see that clock has 35 minutes on it, bro, you are so scared of making the one mistake that's going to ruin the game. And sometimes that is your ult, right? You see your teammate steps up, you didn't realize he got out. You already shot ult. Oh God, what am I going to do? I'm cooked now. So GA at least gives them 4 more seconds to just get there to save you. So I think there's a lot of variance in Briar's gameplay, and Guardian Angel helps that. 4 seconds is a long time.
Any other items you want to talk about? When I saw Overlord's Bloodmail 1 or 2 games, what's your thoughts on this item? When would you build this?
Yeah, it's I mean, so like simply put, right? Titanic Blood Cleaver every game. Sundered Sky is just your base. I don't know. I don't have anything that I need. Buy this. Good. Death Stance, if I'm getting bursted or they have a lot of ADs, go that. Round fourth and onwards, right? If you can time it well, Spear Visage, good. And then you're kind of like left with an extra slot that usually is Overlords or GA. Now, I always tell people if you can buy Overlords, that means that in mid to late game, you have gold income. Junglers sometimes lose it around then, right? So that means that in these team fights, you're likely getting kills. In those team fights that you're likely getting kills, that means that you're not dying, right? Most of the time. And because of that, Overlords becomes this great item because the lower I get, the more damage I do, and I'm buying another damage item. I think base and like most Titanic builds, it gives 78 AD just flat out, and then up to 112. So 112 AD bruiser item, give me health, man, I'm locked. And the awesome interaction is Briar right heals more when she's lower. Well, you're getting more AD when you're lower, so you're going to bite and heal yourself to half like every time. So if you tread the line of death really well and you see the angle for it, it almost entirely does solo carry games. You just have to be disciplined about like, am I dying because am I not dying in these fights because I'm actively counterplaying what they're doing, or have I gotten lucky? And which, if you're getting lucky and you're just not getting focus, go GA because that'll give you like the, just in case I mess up. But if you're actively like thinking about their spells, Eing at the correct time, catching their burst, and then going in, Overlord is going to send you a free win, 25 LP in the pocket quickly. And its build path is sick, man. Double tunneler is easy. You can piece that together really fast, and then you just need the last 1K. So it's sick.
Okay. Talking about runes now. Do you have a standard rune build you recommend to
that
people?
page every
This
time.
page, yeah. There's no changes, no adaptation at all. Ability haste is too good. You don't need attack speed.
Yep.
Coup de
Do
grace.
not. Yeah, I would say the only thing that you can change is bottom row precision, where it's like it just depends on where you want your damage to be more loaded into. Right, cut down. You want to kill someone more tanky. Usually, that's where cut down goes. Last stand, if you think that like last stand, I've opted into last stand if I like see like I'm against other bruisers because bruisers don't just die. If a bruiser's gonna die, they're gonna send every cooldown at your face and do it again when they walk back. Right. So last stand, I'll opt into for that. But coup de grace is like the bis. Like you want this every game if possible. It's just you're already trying to time your W2 as late as possible into the lowest amount of health. It's coup de grace.
And do people come to you with like maybe resolve tree second? Because maybe I could see maybe the healing might be what do you respond to that? How do you respond to that with this bit? The secondary inspiration.
Dude, the best part about the Briar players is like they're all cooking 24/7. So I actively have to have a stance against what they bring to me because I've gotten every question on Earth, and it's one of the coolest things about this champ. You'll see a lot of people have great success with domination secondary going sudden impact because you're always dashing, right? On cooldown, you have sudden impact, which is good. And then treasure hunter, which solidifies snowball. That's fine. It's extra longsword there, right? That one's sick. Inspiration is free boots, and I think free boots are very important for Briar because your first item is Titanic, 3,300 gold, not 3,600 if I have to buy, boots, longsword, ruby, and so on. So I absolutely hate having to buy boots on Briar because she spikes so insanely hard on one item. You need nothing in the way. Because Titanic, the auto attack reset makes you just flat out kill every squishy, or Bork, like we said, right? Oop, I messed up, but I hit W with Bork, you're cooked. So it's pretty sick. You brought up Resolve, right? Resolve, right? Revitalize, Overgrowth, Conditioning. They're all sick runes. I don't know. When I brought them, I never really felt the difference of them. It's like I could tell that they're there, but more times than not, like when Revitalize is saving me, it's like I already griefed. Like I deserve this death. Really, I don't know. It just hasn't panned out for me. But there's a lot of people that swear by it.
I mean, this game talking about, you love your magical footwear here, Logan. You literally built your boots after your second item, Black Levier. So, like,
Yeah,
it feels like this gives you a lot of flexibility to be rushing these items just flat out and just
yeah,
being getting a Black Lever Titanic by 17 minutes of Briar, that is terrifying.
yeah, and in it, like in that case, it's also really sick for Briar because I do think boots are kind of falling at after second item, but before third, a lot of games. Like your early game, it feels like you're always buying items. That feels like pretty standard for a lot of champions, actually, except for mages, really, or mages of sport, who get to build like Sorks, which is like, whoa, I'm the best champ in the game. Woo. Yeah, man, it's sick. I also like magical footwear. You get an extra 10 movement speed. That's cool, right? Like, I mean, it's cool. Right at the bottom, the extra 10, man. So like, if they buy boots, I get my magic footwear. I'm still faster than you, bro. I'm chilling, which is sick, man. It really is. Briar, I mean, Briar obviously likes movement speed a ton, and I mean, we'll probably get into playstyle a little bit later, but Cosmic Insight is exactly my playstyle, bro. Exactly it. Why? Because we go to Dragon, right? I send an ult. Doesn't matter. Let's say I hit any carry, any squishy. Okay. You flash away. I'm flashing for you. When that dragon comes back, I got 1 minute timer on your head where I have flash and you don't. And that like helps me build consistency in my gameplay a little bit more because it's less it is more consistent that I'll kill a carry if I set up this situation that I flash on you once, and if I'm thinking about it, I can flash on you again with a slight buffer where once Briar's on top of you and has flash over you, you cannot run away, bro. You're just you're chopped, man. You got too close to the sun. And sorry, do you have anything? I got one more little rant.
Yeah, no, keep going. I'm sort of just for the runes here. I love it when champion mains or whatever just say, guys, just block out all the noise, go this build, it's fine, and then let's
Yeah,
just focus on your decision making actually the game, because
dude,
people think that there's like a little secret, oh, Logan doesn't know this thing, this domination thing. You're like, dude,
yeah,
I'm just building these two items. I don't give a shit, like I'm building my boots
dude.
third.
Have you seen the meme bell curve for it where it's like,
Yes, that's right.
dude,
Yeah.
that is exactly what it is. I swear to you, man, it is exactly that. Like, guys, man, these cooks,
The middle
they
ground, they're like, yeah.
dude, they're so awesome and they are really cool, and it's what make league it makes league really cool. But like I think a lot of people like kind of lose sight of the fact that like when I'm trying to climb, the only thing I care about is consistently going up in LP. I don't care about a random cook that has 1% more because it introduces this variable of uncertainty to my gameplay that's not consistent. I'm going to be consistent 24/7, 365. That's it. So I have a build that I try and know every in and out of because enemy team knows what Briar does. Cool. Do they know that 700 damage now and 800 damage later, 10 seconds later is a kill on you? Probably not. They see I have Titanic, right? So I mean, dude, that is like the difference I will say between like GM and Challenger is those 1% little situations that I know better than you every time. Those that is actually the difference. Is like you sure
You
like
don't talk about
making
runes
less
here. You talk
mistakes
about
and stuff.
decision making. You're talking about like the specific decision making or fighting and stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, in terms of runes, where like I'm used to my
Ah,
runes.
yeah,
Like
I
if I
got it.
took,
Yep.
if I swapped to revitalize this game and I didn't have flash advantage on this guy, I'd probably be like, damn, that sucked. But also, it's worth when you're looking at your runes, like when I hit the rune page of a game ends, I go to runes and I see revitalize 1500. That's sweet. How many times was that me overhealing? You know, how many sudden impact procs did I already have the kill on that guy? Like when I dropped 30 kills on lethality, okay, how much of that sudden impact damage was when the game was already decided? So sometimes it's like you really have to be so specific. You only get like 6 runes a game, 6 or 9 depending on how you see it. Nice, and it's like you really just gotta be fair about how you look at rune value more than just looking at the number at end of game, right? And yeah, this works for me.
And lastly, skill order. Does this change at all? Is it W first, max, and then Q second, then E last?
Yeah, every game in terms of maxing, yes. In terms of your first three skills, your fastest clear will always be W, then E, then Q. E just does so much damage when you wallbang. You can't miss it on jungle camps. W's sick, and Q sets up an interesting thing that I'll go into after. But always W, dude. If you've ever hit left shift when you're hovering your abilities in game, it'll tell you like every level up, this is what you get, right? More of this, that, the other thing. If you look at Q, it's like cooldown and armor shred. It's like cool. E is like 35 base damage, 100 max, and 2% healing. And W is like attack speed, cooldown, movement speed, everything healing, every cooldown, everything else, something more. And it's like, dude, that's the easiest way to figure out what's the best max. Which one gives me the most things? That's it. And man. So yeah, WQE almost every time. There will be some times where you have to take Q second if you're getting like invaded and you need to force kill a camp and then fight them after, sure. Because Q will make you lock on to Gromp if you're getting Shaco invaded level 2. That scenario, you're probably dead, but sometimes, man, it'll add up. But if I could, the double adaptive, by the way, is super important. Okay. Do you know how many autos you get when you W?
I don't know the number, no.
Yeah, dude, it's so nerdy. I play this champ too much, man. That's the problem here.
I'm guessing like 5 or 6, is it?
Dude, you played this too much too. So look at you. Yeah, you're exactly right. When you W level 1 with this build, with this rune setup, you get 5 autos. Then you W 2. Yeah. Okay. If you take attack speed shard, you'll get 6. Cool. Well, that actually doesn't matter that much because once I get Q, W auto attack, and then Q, I can actually get 6 anyway. So the top end is that I get more raw AD, and at level 3, I always get 6 autos anyway. But if I take attack speed shard and then I reset my auto with Q, I won't get 7, right? So you just flat out get more damage taking double adaptive. And if you're not so nerdy to know that at level 1, when you W with attack speed shard, you get 6 autos. If you try and hit 5 and then you W2, you're down like 200 damage, level 1. And that for much. Clear, wow. Yeah, it's sick. So, because you miss the bleed proc, you miss W2 damage, and you miss sense. Just flat out an 80 damage auto. And man, it attack speed shard inherently drops your full clear by 2 seconds, just done perfectly, 2 seconds. But if you don't realize that it's 6, it drops it like 4 seconds. So, I just stick to adaptive, right? I do 5 autos on 3 camps, then I have Q for the rest of the game. I'm at 6. It's so nerdy, bro. But I mean, you got to know it, man. You only got 5 seconds for your damage. You got to be able to do the most that you can.
Love it. All right, Logan, let's now, I guess, go into more nerdy stuff. Let's go into the practice tool now to look at some tips and tricks and maybe some combos with Briar.
Dude, this is going to be sick. Yeah, dude, I could go over pretty standard stuff that people need to know. I mean, I don't know if you want me to take the wheel here, but this is pretty standard in the Briar community. They often want me to test things like this all the time. There's just changes. I mean, like when item gets better, is it good for Briar, whatnot, and so on. There's a lot of changes that have happened with Briar. So there are some inconsistencies. I can try and show you as many cool things as possible. I'll try and stick to the things that you'll actually use. But so again, right, like if you're level 1 and I just hit W, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'd 6. And if you go for the 6, you might get it there. But it is technically possible, and someone's gotten it to like 4% replication. Don't do it. Take 5. And then once you get level 6, right, or level 3, you'll get 6 autos. So let's turn these minions off because they're in my way. So I would look for an auto, and then right here you W, right? W, auto Q, 3, 4, 5, 6 W2 every time. So out of habit, I'd try an auto beforehand. Just good practice, right, if you're hitting your blue buff. But if you were to just W again, she has this weird animation, by the way, where she hops for her first auto. You might be noticing that. That is simply just going to be going away. It's only on this patch. So W forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, not counting my Q. So one last time. W 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 W2. That is every single time. Again, you only have to do 5 level 1. So just simply remember that. Or I guess technically level 1 and 2. It is
I
worth
think a
noting
big
that
question for me, Logan, here is like, where do people mess up? Like, what are the most common mistakes you see Briar people use the W or the Q or whatever, or like not maximize damage, or is it literally very hard to like stuff up?
you're the goat, man. That was exactly it. Where do they mess up, man? They don't. You have to simplify. Like, dude, as much of your world that you can simplify, do it. I promise you. So think about it. So W actually lasts for 5 seconds. Good. So I dash forward, and then for 5 seconds I have Blood Frenzy. Cool. Well, Q leaps to a target, stunning it, dealing damage, and reducing their armor and MR for 5 seconds. So what does that mean? That means that if I ever Q after my W, right, so if I W first, they will always have armor reduction for your W2, which is your highest damage, right? So that means that you want to optimally get Q on cooldown as soon as possible, right? That just makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. So where they mess
So
up is
do
they
people
will do
hold it or
like
something?
this.
So what do they? Yeah. So what do they do?
Exactly, bro. They'll do something like this, 1, 2, and then like enemy runs away, then they Q. But it's like, dude, do you know how much damage you lost like that? I mean, we could actually let's see how much damage it is. Maybe I'm just making it up and it's nothing. Let's see. So 852 right there with a mess up, and then I mean, let the numbers speak for themselves, man. So can we get more than 852? But yeah, stuff like that is definitely it'll add up. So right there, 4 damage. Wow.
But doesn't it's good to sometimes hold the Q for a gap closer or like as a dash or whatever instead of opening it. Like so opening it with it is more damage, but maybe you're not going to be able to get onto them with those other auto attacks with W, right? How do you?
Yeah, it's the way I see it is that 4 damage might seem like a little at level 3 when you have 10% armor, but obviously later into the game that 4 is going to turn to 400 really quick. So when would be the time that you would just use Q like WQ instead of trying to greed the extra auto attack? I think more times than not where people mess up is they don't reset their auto with Q. Again, if you read this little thing, it used to actually say it here. I guess it doesn't. Q is an auto attack reset, right? So instead of waiting, doing 2 autos, 1, 2. Oh my God, man, I'm about to throw up, right? Auto Q auto, much faster.
I see.
So it is an auto attack reset. So you should always be looking for it. So that means that there has to be a circumstance in which you wouldn't look for it. And that is when you are just, someone's at half health. You just need to be hitting them because W2 is likely going to put them out. So that, in times like that, if this target dummy's half health, I'm just flying at this guy, auto W2, and sometimes even fast combo like that, where I'll throw out an E2. So that's like your primary, like if you're looking to play high-elo Briar, this is actually what all of your games will look like is, again, you don't get as many random fair fights in high-elo. You just don't. It's just not how it's going to work. So most of what I do here, if you watch Ogren, he does this a lot with Wukong playstyle too, where like you go in, you do as much. Oh, well, that wasn't good. I missed an auto attack, which is like the fun of the champ. We'll get into that. Right. So right there, you got W auto attack, W auto Q, auto Titanic W2. And you can do that really fast. And that's the point is that you're not getting these fair fights. You're not getting, long fights. You want to do as much damage as possible, get away from everyone, reset your cooldown, now taking that chunk out of them. So, so something like that. And then you'd run away. Right. And then I have 16 seconds, just Titanic. I've dealt 1,400 damage and that's against no armor, of course. And that'll go down to like, let's say 800. But yeah, that's where a lot of people are messing up is not getting Q on cooldown ASAP, but also they're canceling auto attacks. Again, this champion plays like a rhythm game, bro. You have to be perfect with your resets. So if I could do it in slow motion, I would happily do it, but unfortunately it's not going to work. But yeah, W, right? And then you auto attack. And instead of waiting between these auto attack, I'm going to throw a Q. And then instead of waiting again, I'm going to throw a Titanic. So it's all about just auto sequencing. You usually do this on other champions when you throw an auto between your spells, right? Like think of Riven, right? Q auto, Q auto, so on. That's exactly the idea here, where you're literally just trying to make sure there's always an auto attack in between things, while also getting Q before Titanic. So because it does physical damage, right? You want to reduce their armor. And just make sure that you're not canceling your auto attacks. Like, dude, there's so many times where your combos will like look like that, and you just because you just huge. there's much worse scenarios um, like when your W starts, but then you use your Q, or rather use your W2, right? And it's just going to chomp and kill someone, but then you Q them and then they flashed away. Now your W2 didn't buffer. It's like, oh my God, it feels so awful. So you really have to right there, you play back the sound super quietly. You'd hear that the W started, I canceled it. And there's just so many ways to mess yourself up on this champ. But yeah, it mostly just comes down to you just, getting good auto attack cancels. So that's where a lot of people mess up, is either they hold Q for too long or they cancel their auto attacks with their own Q and so on. So yeah, it's right about there.
What are some other things that people need to know about how Briar's kit works?
Well, that's a tough
Maybe
one.
some tips and tricks, or isn't there something with the Q changes the
Oh
target that
yeah,
you're
you're
auto locking
targeting.
onto?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that's a sick one. So you have like a sequence into things that you will auto attack, and champions are at the top of it, right? So for example, actually, let me just move these guys away real quick. So if I'm hitting this Grump, and then let's say Talon or anyone on Earth walks in within this circle, well, I'm gone, right? I'm
So
going
you
right
lock
to
onto the
them
champion. It prioritizes champions over
over
camps.
everything else. Champions are number one. But what can you do? You can queue, and that'll change the category. And that's important. The category of thing that you're hitting to that category. So, for example, um, you know, it would be like something of this nature, where if I'm on Grubs and I queue to Grubs, and then a champion comes, and let's say Syndra throws a minion to, or a Zac Blob, right? If I fight a Zac here, Zac Blobs are coded as minions, so you can't W towards them if objectives are there, because you'll go to objectives over minions, right? It's so specific, it's super weird. But TLDR, if there's ever a champion, you have to queue, because the champion can just pull you away every single time. But once I queue, I'm locked. I'm hitting this until this is no more. There are times to realize that can still mess you up, because let's say you do all the work to kill this thing, and you use Q, right? But sometimes you forget that you're going right after them for the rest of that W duration too. So that happens more when you're holding a wave for your team. And let's get some minions in here. I can try and show it. But yeah, it's just super important to know that if you're running towards an enemy champion that you don't want to, try and queue to the nearest thing that isn't going to send you under their turret. So for my lane Briar players, this happens often, because right when you're playing lane Briar, you just can't use W unless you have Q. You just can't use W, right? Because
Yep.
I can't W, I can't push this wave at all. There's nothing I can do here. But I can just ignore them, hit the wave, and then go to fight them. And that's what makes Titanic and lane so sick, right? Is I can just choose to ignore the enemy champion. So there's times where you're getting ganked, you're like, well, I'm dead. At least I'm getting my farm. This is actually a bug, by the way. Sometimes when you kill them, if they're not so close to you, like these minions were clearly within my W, if they're not so close, sometimes you'll just aggro towards a champion when you shouldn't. That doesn't happen often, I'll say, but yeah, man, there's definitely times to target something else. And again, that'll mostly be if you kill blue and then Shaco's invading you, you see that your blue is on, let's say you have Q second for whatever reason, or maybe it's level 4 or whatever. If you're trying to confirm whatever you're doing, it is very important to know. And that mostly can matter at dragons too, right? Dragons are a huge neutral objective right now that you need to be playing for. So it's oh my God, they're trying to smite 50-50. Once I queue the dragon, hands off, man, I'm good, right? I don't have to worry anymore. And that actually pairs with one last point. Sorry, man, I missed a ramble. But once I do this, right, I can look at my W2 damage. Okay, now I see 400. Now I just add that to my smite. So now I know, because W2 does more damage the lower health it is, I know I'm going to do more than that. But 400 plus 900 is 1300, right? So once I WQ this, no matter who's near me, I know I'm not going to be hitting the wrong target. And I know that my W2 will kill. So there's no reason I don't just always win every smite 50-50.
So you want to smite before you W2, right? Because the lower HP the W2 does more damage, or is that wrong?
Yeah, you do want the W2 to be queued before the smite because there is the animation. It's like Kazakh's Q smite.
Yeah.
You know, the bite, man, when you stare at it, it does take a little while, right? Your whole neck goes out trying to do this. So you do
so you have to like perfectly time it. You have
Yeah,
to perfectly time it, I see. So there's some like animation, like little thing with the W2, but you sort of need to like press in the smite like the exact time.
Yep. So you W2 and then smite like really, really, really soon after, maybe like 0.3 of a second. It feels like you're playing piano. W2 smite ASAP. Yep. But yeah.
Anything else? Yeah. What about like, is there any things with the R, or is it quite simple?
Yeah, I think R is one of the coolest things. They made it. Damn man, I should have got you in the lobby or something. But we can do this. Isn't there a way they changed it? You can give yourself a status effect. So like the cool thing about R, right? So I'm permanently blinded, right? Like if I'm hitting anything, I just simply wouldn't be able to hit it. Your R actually cleanses things now. So look, cleanse that blind.
Okay, cool.
So that's something they added to Briar recently, actually.
Yeah, I see.
So it's kind of like a thing that you do. And, you know, when you go to take a fight and you realize like, oh my God, that Annie Tibbers is coming, right? To shoot R into it because you're going to get stunned. You'll cleanse it. And then she's not thinking to dodge, right? She's thinking to cast her spell. So R is definitely like one of the best tools and most underused tools. If you're only going American Sniper, cross mapping, right? There's more to add to your ult skills for sure. Because again, it buffers through CC and it cleanses you, and that's so huge against these like lingering blinds and stuns and Malzahar ults, right? If you see Malzahar's beelining you, you know he's just clicking R. Use R because you'll just run at him. You'll cleanse it. Super sick. They added that, and one more is like this one kind of ties with everything, but so your auto attack cancels like 99% of your gameplay, but if you read your spells right, stun on Q is 0.85. Well, what's charge up of your E? Well, it's 1 second, right? For 1 full second, I do this. So that means that you cannot just QE. It is not confirmed. They can walk out of it with good movement or movement speed, or just always flash. It's always flashable. It is cool, by the way, to like get red buff because now red buff can. Dude, am I doing 0 damage? Red buff can apply slow, right? And that can help, right? You can see this person has the slow debuff because your Q is coded as an auto attack. So red buff can help you with QE combos a little bit. But you know, it is what it is. The main thing to realize is that Q into E is not confirmed, but it is very consistent. Again, they 0.15 to get out of it. So it's worth noting. Super nerdy little tidbit in that realm is Bork, right? So when I use Q here, it's going to do the Bork, right? So Bork says when I attack champion 3 times, it slows them. So you can actually try and set up a QE off that, where like, you know, if I do 1, 2, and then I Q them. Oh, that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's why you don't know damage. I was going to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, when I didn't see it, I forgot. I was like, dude, am I messing? There we go. Nice. So 1, 2, you can Q. That'll get your Bork, and that'll actually slow them. And that helps you with QE combos. If you're nerdy enough to stack up 2 autos on someone, and then you're looking for a QE, right? You can slow them down a little bit more. Super nerdy. Doesn't matter. Don't try that at home. It's worth noting, though, that, again, the slow just helps you set up your CC. And last thing is, so QE is not confirmed. 0.85 into 1 second channel wouldn't work. But if you do hit the E, it's 1.5 second stun. It takes you 1.1 to 1.25 to hit ultimate. So Briar community calls this demon combo, where, you know, if I'm in this bush, right, and I see, you know, some noobs ready to get free low kill. Okay, they're walking through here, right? I'm already here for dragon. Look for ER there, because point and click Briar ultimate is a really good spell, right? You get to completely tear up the team fight, right? Everyone in this circle gets feared. Nothing can hit me for that time. They got to run away, and then they can come back, try and save their boy. So, when you first start playing Briar, you're going to be Eing to cancel your W when you realize that you messed up. And when you get really good at Briar, you'll start setting these traps where, like, I'm not even trying to really hit anyone right now. I'm not trying to W forward because this spell does insane damage base. And then it also confirms my ult. They're still stunned. Look, my ult's already hit. You're not even done yet. And then I have W and Q, man. We can go back and forth. We can do everything that we need to, man. So, I mean, it depends on what we're doing.
Don't you lose? Here. Isn't it hard then? Because then you don't have the E to break. If people start flashing over walls, then isn't that maybe risky? The demon combo. If you E them into the wall, then you are because then you have no E. You can't control your character.
Yeah, it definitely can be. I will say, like 99% of the times, the top end of you hitting a full 1.5 second stun and point and click ultimate onto someone, the flat out damage that you do is so high, and
practically they're dead. You've won the fight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You do have to be a little careful with it, which does give you reason to try and go for 2 or more, man, because now you confirm the fear, which is also pretty sick. So, I will say I do look for this a lot. Some of that can be where I put myself in my pregame planning and my planning a game, but I do think not enough people are going for this because, again, the way I see Briar's Ultimate means one person dies. If I hit this, one person's dead. On their team, and likely it could be my team too. But if I'm doing this on the correct target on their most fed member, I'll take that loss, right? But either way, if your ult hits, more times than not, you will win the fight. And if their enemy team trades you for it, well, that means that you killed one, so 5v4, their 4 send at you to make it 4v4. That means that your team is technically up cooldowns to some degree. Oh my God, believing in my team. You got to believe in people sometimes, man. But yeah, it is definitely really good. People are not looking for more bush camp E's. And again, it's a 1.5 second stun. So this is where we talk about, again, your auto attacks, right? You need to be able to hit perfectly timed combos because depending on your attack speed, you can get 2 autos before you need a Q. So this is the only time I'll tell you not to do it. So DW, right? It's right there. As I'm just staring at the bar for the stun here. For when I need a Q, right? So right there, he had a small time where he could have flashed. But if I do it after 2 autos, right, I can always catch them with another
stunned.
CC. Yeah.
Yeah, they're permanently stunned.
The top end is really good because you have this guy standing still. You're hitting him for 2.35 seconds with auto tech resets, PTA proc, your build. It's a lot of damage, man. They got to be careful.
Anything else we need to cover here in the practice tour? Anything else you think is important for Briar players to know?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. One last super nerdy thing. Riot has patched this out. Riot has also seen me do it, and they know that it's still in the game, but it's less consistent. But you can bite turrets. So obviously, if there's no enemies right here, right, your W won't go to turrets. It just won't. It's not how it works, right? No blood. But you can, if enemy things are nearby, you can bite the turret, and sometimes it's worth it for those last plates that maybe would help you. So if you just right-click and then spam W1, W2 and try and override before Briar decides what she's hitting, you can, like that, bite the turret. Which
interesting.
You'd be surprised how much it does matter. Like when you're when you're crashing a wave, you just solo killed their top laner. You're crashing a wave. If their wave is coming in, right, you want to get that last plate, and then you're also trying to kill the wave too, because once this W2's dead, see, like right there, that's them taking it out. But you'd want to do that, and then you'll just run to their minions. Your minions will be under a turret. You won't be tanking it like this. And so yeah, there's stuff to do. And one last thing I thought of. Briar's passive is physical damage. So one of the coolest things you can do is any spell, any auto attack, anything will make your passive tick on this person. Well, with physical damage and how Black Cleaver reads, dealing physical damage grants you movement speed, and it gives the armor pen. So if I hit anything, it goes to full stacks. I stay with movement speed, and I stay perfectly max stacks, and that's off anything. Any single one application of my kit, right? A tap E applies bleed applies physical damage, and that maxes out Black Cleaver.
Super fast, I see, because of that the bleed, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what makes looking for big team fight ults better, because if anyone else gets hit, Black Cleaver, Black Cleaver, Black Cleaver. That's why this item's so good. It's like people are like, well, this item technically has more damage. It's like, Have you seen what Black Cleaver does? I have 20 ability haste, which is awesome, like super awesome compared to other items. But on top of the fact that, again, I'm maxing out 30% armor pen on every target I even breathe near. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's such a good item. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that was the thing there. That's really, yeah, that's clearly makes that an extremely good item.
Dude, and then like lastly, just the Darius effect. Darius does this too. Tag, I'm permanently phage movement speed. Right? Still.
How does that work? Oh yeah, because it just keeps proccing. I see.
Yeah, because it's just dealing physical damage. That's all you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So if you hit anything, man, you zoom. So that's that is why it's really good. But yeah, those are most of the interactions that we could talk about. Turret bite, all of that's really good. There's maybe some other ones, but nothing that you guys really need to know that you won't learn by yourself over time. Yeah, I feel pretty good.
All right, Logan, let's jump now into your gameplay.
Oh yeah.
This series is brought to you by the We Teach League Coaching Academies. These are for players who want to work with an experienced coach to improve their gameplay. We have an insane amount of value in the membership in the academies when it comes to our fundamentals courses and champion guides, in-depth 3 to 4 hours. Ton of research goes into those, as well as joining our improvement-focused Discord community. We're so confident in the results that we get our members that we offer a 14-day money-back guarantee to anyone who joins. More information over at weteachleague.com or in the description below. Let's get back to Briar with Logan.
I mean, so pre-game planning, right? You 3 main paths right now. Raptors start, red start, blue start. Red and blue start been around forever, right? That's where you start red buff, Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp, blue. Why Gromp over blue? Because you want your camps to sync up better, right? You don't want the desync between your next Wolves and Gromp. So here, that's exactly what we do. Well, that's what we would have done if we did red. Here, this game, we're doing Raptor start. The idea when you go into a Raptor start game is I want to full clear. I want to get it 1 crab, so the crab that I go to, and then I want to go right back to my Raptors and then to my Krugs. And that allows you to go, and in the VOD, I'm talking about it, right? So you'll see, right? If there's a mid gank, take it, but all I'm going to is my Raptors right here. 15 seconds. I have 15 seconds to do what I want. See a Galio and Fizz. Galio hard counters Fizz. Right here, this is mostly just do as much damage as possible. Buffer E after Jarvan's EQ, right? Once Jarvan used EQ, he emptied the bag. He doesn't have much left. I am scared of getting invaded on my Raptors. Obviously, their team knows these Raptors are super important. He runs it down. What do? LoganJG sees someone 50 HP. He sends it.
Beautiful.
But what about this guy? He just used Q. He has nothing left. You can bonk in a E. Now you know how does he kill you here. He has to EQ, auto attack, and then kite you. Sideways W, free.
Way, that is clean, dude. I was not expecting that the first 4 minutes of the game, right? So
yeah.
So I guess this seems like quite a big skill cap of like Briar's W. Using your W to like dodge, see that little hop. Like I think that's quite underrated. Like I think now that I'm looking at it and your gameplay here, I don't think I did this enough when I was learning or playing Briar. Like that is just game winning, right? It's huge.
Yeah, and not to make you go back, but like that's why if you notice when I'm walking away from Jarvan, I walk like a robot, right? I don't juke at all. I actually want him to throw it. I want him to feel confident to throw it. Throw it right on my head. Because I know I have W, and I have flashed this whole time too. I could have just flashed. You can actually see it on my eyes. I can look and see. I check my cooldowns at 1 second here, right there. I just checked my cooldowns. I know I have W coming up, so I'm just waiting for him to throw the thing.
And you just walk in a straight line, like, oh, look at me, I'm an idiot. Come, because I think a lot of people, like even for me as the Jarvan, I don't really think like a lot of Briar players don't really dodge stuff with the W.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't see this often. So I guess this is where the champ mastery is coming into play, right?
Yeah,
like is a huge aspect of it.
1,000%, brother. You said it perfectly. That the difference between a Briar main and a not Briar player is who takes damage on the way in, who takes more damage at the start of the fight. Because once the fight started, everyone's going to take damage. Reduce as much as you can, and it'll work out well for you. So a pretty top end start here. But again,
this is what we call. I like to call like the Raptor starts like the 8 camp clear, right? Because the idea is that you want to do 8 clamps before you recall, right? So again, you do Raptors, Krugs, red, Wolves, Gromp, blue, crab, and then you have to go back. Crab doesn't count as like a camp technically in the 8 camps.
Not first crab, not at all. Yeah, first crab sucks, man.
Yeah, so tell me about like if you're on the other side of the map, do you like to do raptor start every game? Is there any time you do a buff? Why would you do a buff start on this champion?
Yeah, it's all about like the top end of my planning or my pathing, right? So pathing is to me when I see the drafts and what I can picture the lane states will look like at certain points in the game, and how can I use that to my advantage here. Um, so for this game, right, I didn't
See if I can
think.
find a tab screen.
Oh, sure. I usually spam tab a ton outside of recall, so it should be soon. So it should be right now. Yep. Yeah, I'll do it again. Trust. Sitting here reading hubris like a noob.
Oh,
Bam.
there we go.
Nice.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, what did I do?
No, that was me. Let's get it back up in a moment.
Bam. Nice. Yeah, so so when I looked at my pathing here, the idea was that I knew their mid laner would likely fight a ton, but I also didn't believe in my bot lane here. Usually I will say I am Mr. Path bot lane. If you do not know what to do, just go bot. Every time. You should be pathing bot 75% of your games. No exaggeration. Bot lane, 600 gold. Easier to tilt players. You can't quantify that, but talk to me, bro. Come on. 2 players to tilt over 1. Talk to me.
Yep. The
Um,
maths are there.
the math is there, man. It's right there. So I actually didn't believe in this bot lane very much because they did die earlier and they were typing a lot. So I didn't even start panning my camera bot on that crab as much because I just didn't. But I did want to leave myself when I'm deciding my pathing. I'm deciding it before the games even start, before the camps have spawned, right? So I knew I wanted to be bot side for a Pike Lucian lane. I know that they're going to fight, but once they start showing signs that they might not be the one, cool. I'm going to go back to Project Logan Jungle carry this game, and let's see if mid lane can. And my mid laner, right, he had a terrible 2v2. He ran it down in the 2v1, but it got me a double. So at least he's baitable, right? That's fine with me. Hey, 600 gold to me, man. It's all about winning the game, man. I don't care. Personally, I don't have to hate this guy. If he's baitable and he'll die for me to get money, we're good. So it was originally, I wanted to go Raptor Start to be very strong. And again, Raptor Start does give you level 5 and 1200 gold under recall over the average like 800, 850 that a standard path would. I think Raptor Start is much better for carrying games because of how much more fed you get. But also, again, it's mostly just, I wanted to be down there for Pike Lucian lane because, I feel like you can unlock Pike from his lane. He can go to Fiora and Fizz and so on. Pike is awesome champ.
All right, so yeah, so you're bothing bot like 75% of the time. Like,
yes,
it's a lot.
So then the question is just
what would the path
or
be? Yeah, so then what would you do on this side of the map then? Because obviously you kind of the Raptor start. So you would just do a blue start then on this side of the map? Just blue start. So yeah, so it's either Raptor start on this side of the map or blue start on that side of the map.
Yeah, and I like the blue start because Briar's full clears are blue start 308, red start 315, Raptor start 318. So
wow, the blue significantly quicker. Yeah, that's
dude. Yes,
it was that quick.
So there's so I actually don't even feel negative about it because I'm 10 seconds earlier to the play. That's sick, man. That's awesome to me. So I don't worry about it. Again, the camps that I do is all just based on the players on my team, the just champions that they got. Man, tell me I got level 6 early. I did
level 6 of 5 minutes and 4. It's like a world record. Like, it's like literally as fast as you possibly can get it right in a game, right? So, and obviously that's because of you killing the mid and getting experience there. But yeah, so after you finish your 8 camp clear, you come here, do these camps, and then obviously might be looking for something.
Yep, that is the exact timer that I look for something. It's either dragon or gank. So right here, I'm just going to utilize this timer. I saw Jarvan on 0 health. Jarvan does not do the Briar effect where he just hits one camp and goes to full health like Briar, right? Jarvan has to sit with his mistakes a lot more than other champions. And so right there, saw him take the fight, saw him 150 HP. And my bot lane's actually trolling. They just decided, whatever, I'm going to go mid here. So at least we have technical man advantage. So it isn't anything. Just utilizing the timer again. Most of my decisions in jungle are mostly just based off enemy jungler. Like if he can't be here, the odds of them being here, unless it's blatantly obvious that I'm here, they probably won't. So like a level, a 6-minute dragon isn't always very warded. I even pulled it out of the pit and pinked it. So The odds of that one working are very good. Now, this is actually my first mistake of the map of the game. Is I walked to this play. Now, to be fair, like what universe do they not look for this? And I say it in this
You mean
VOD.
Diving Fiora? Like looking for Diving
Yeah,
Fiora? Is that what they
dude.
want? Yeah.
Since when they don't do that, man? Y'all pulled up like that. The way I see it is, Jarvan, if you were so locked that you were willing to go for this, there should be no reason that you don't take it. You know, if you believe in yourself to walk to it and sacrifice some camps, you should be, I feel the pressure to get something out of it. Again, you should, great players do manage that and, know when to accept the loss, and he clearly did. But, right there, I just had a play call in my head that I thought he would go for it, seeing as to how he took the last 1v1 with me. I thought he would make a, more newbie mistake. He didn't. Good, shout out him, bro. But, so what should I have done? I should have just gone straight to the camps again, man. Hit the Raptors Krugs into red buff again, and I should already be done with this clear going to bot side now. But I got to live with that mistake, and that that could mess up my grub timer, where like maybe I just do top side, actually get a top gank, and then go grubs, or or what have you. But it was definitely a mistake.
So you really hate wasting time on this champion, or just in jungling in general. Like that was a missed opportunity. Again, you thought they were going to dive, and you were like, okay, that was really bad. I should have been hitting my camps.
Yeah. I think you have to be so disciplined to play Briar because of just the nature of the champion, but also I think you have to be super disciplined to play jungle right now. Your farm is the way to win. You just have to do it. And when we talked about Titanic and Bork, that was the sickest Galio thing ever, by the way. He knows that champ really well. I think so that's why Bork is really good, because I can mess up my farm and I can play a little bit worse, but I won't always get punished in the 1v1 because I have Bork. But that's why Titanic's really good. When you're playing perfect, you're perfectly farming, and now you have the better top end item. And when you're getting all of your farm, you're getting more of the expensive items, and just your top end is so much higher, especially because, right, Bork, you need to be hitting autos, meaning that the fights have to be fights that you can auto. Sometimes you just can't, the fight's already decided, like something like this, maybe if it was, not so close, if they just slammed us, right, they killed 2 people, it's 4v2, Bork is useless. You're not just going to hit everyone to death there. But maybe, with Titanic, I can burst one, kill one. That's, a little low. And then reset my cooldowns, try again in the 3v2. And so sorry, a little tangent.
What are your thoughts there, Logan, on you going for these max? What do you think about these max range Rs, right? Versus because you're talking about a lot in the combo where you like to do like the shorter range Rs, and a lot of the coaching that I do with Briar, and again, I want to get your opinion on this. I tell people, a good Briar game, you actually don't need to go for these max range Rs. Yep. You can hold it, and there's going to be lots more opportunities for you. So, do you share the same sentiment?
Yeah, you really should. You really should. Okay, the high risk, high reward is exactly what you think it is. Okay, so in a game like this, I know once I get there, I will get value, and because of that, I try to get more value because I know there's an inherent value in me just showing up. But yeah, I think more times than not, you should go for mid-range to short range, especially after the ult change, where now the sound effect plays once the Hemolith is kicked, rather than when you started the cast, right? So once the arrow is traveling, that's when the sound effect plays. It's much harder to dodge. You should just be aiming directly on top of them. This video was just me, not
egoing.
Yeah,
is that what you'd say?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it ego. I would say just not being proactive, man. I start autopiloting a little bit. I get some fatigue and I get lazy just like everyone else, man. I really do. But yeah, now the ego part, I would actually say I agree with that. When I fight the thought, I'll say the first ult, straight ego 24/7. I saw him fighting. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, that one I was, that one felt more good. But yeah, no, dude, I a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of ego, a little bit of everything, man. Try my best though, but sometimes you get a little lazy.
Seems like a little tip here. You like to drag, you hit one, you walk out, and then you drag them all together. I assume that's so then your W, you can hit all of them, all 3 of them.
Yes, sir.
For the grubs.
Yep. It's like, So the grubs, right? They heal more based on how low they are, but it is still worth it if you can hit all three of them. It is still a faster clear than just doing single target. Um, and it's better to not be in the pit because you do get extra vision. Although you do show to banana bush, right? You get both sides of the river, so um, it's give and take. When you die because someone's standing there and you didn't realize it, it's like, I'm kind of stupid. But in that one, right, we saw their team was low and not playing for this, so it was just fine that time.
So what I'm seeing here, Logan, like, yeah, you always have the highest farm in the game. You're really big on getting to your camps and spawn being high efficiently. So
Yeah,
a lot of people would say like this is like AFK farming jungle or whatever it is. Like, how would you
yeah,
respond to that?
yeah. I think I mean, like, so the cool thing is like AFK farming, um, is like a cool thing. I would say that's like more of a lower elo skewed idea. Um, Playing the game correctly, call it whatever you want. Okay. There's been times where farming was really bad, and there's been times where farming was a lot better than what it is. Okay. Briar needs her farm. You cannot function on this champion from behind in the way that you want to and in the way that you're used to. Okay. If I'm a cannon minion and I hop on Nami and it doesn't matter, we lose. I'm useless. So, the way I see it is like, the way I see it is that if someone is spam ganking, I'm just going to outscale them because I'm hitting camps, bro. Spam gank is dead. Look at Tab, right? Jarvan has 8 KP to my 3. But who's stronger, right? It's not even close. So right now, right? You look at our items. I'm on a 3K item. He's on what I think Eclipse 2900, but I got 12K in the bank. I've done grubs, I've done double dragon, and I'm already cycled my camps. I'm up 20 farm. So you can see, like right here, this is a win for me.
More map impact, but you've gotten the objectives. You're hyper efficient here, and I mean in terms of strength, technically you look like you're the exact same strength right now, right? But I guess in terms of map impact and farm, like you're easily probably over half a level at least on this guy as well, right? So in terms of
Yeah,
experience,
it's half a level, and it's I just finished my full clear, and I don't think he has. So I'm up whatever this recall is now. So now it's unplayable for him, right? Because
yeah.
and Eclipse, right? Eclipse is like the anti-scale item, right? Like it cranks early game, and if you can get the good plays where you're always proccing it and you can do really well and kite with it and do really well, it can be very good. But not a lot of people are good enough to pull off Eclipse, man. That item's harder than people think, to really maximize it. But yeah, the reality of jungling right now is that you win through Dragon Soul. Dragon Soul poses the game in such a weird way where, um, like early game KP is cool and it feels good, but the reality is that when your camps are cycling worse than mine, I'm just going to be getting stronger, and when I'm stronger, I can kind of cut you out of 2v2s, right? And now you won't be as incentivized to fight me, and then we can just start stacking dragons. My team can get back in the game. Like, my team is behind because they got ganked. Once they have a dragon soul, it feels a lot better. Um, and just how the game plays, where like Dragon Soul, if I have 3 dragons and my team's behind, but I'm still strong because I farmed, and then I find a pick on one of your teammates, now it's 5v4. You guys are giving soul. Well, what the hell? I thought we were behind. Well, no, my team was
Mm.
behind. I was never behind, and I can kill your weakest player. So yeah, yeah. I mean, you can see what I type, right? I don't type anything other than can win and focus and what we need to do if I need to type that. Um, you can see they're blowing up the chat, man. I mute them. The only reason that you can see their chat is because I let my viewers see it. Okay. I just insta mute anyone. The moment you ping something stupid, gone. Never talking to me again. Boom, we're not friends. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. No, I don't play that. I play this champion, and I try and utilize every fiber of my 3 IQ. Okay. I can't I can't do everything, man. I choose to use all my skills where I can, and that is playing Briar, farming, and objectives. So right here, you hit the bad target. You're likely just going to hit E and try and run away. Luckily, that kid trolled. Right, we're lit. I was going to sideways W the Jarvan EQ and then just die for it. It is what it is. Luckily, I got blessed right there. But yeah, I think it's yeah, I mean, it really is just like jungle's in such a spot right now that farming makes you so insanely strong, and it's just you take over the game. You really do, man. And if you farm really well and you do neutral objectives, you'll do just fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're like going full carry mode here. Like, I even saw you take the bot wave. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this in my life. At 10 CS per minute, almost Briar. Like, this is like, you're putting on the carry pants here, Logan.
Yeah, and here's where you see them get taken off, and not a weird way. Look, man, you sometimes once you go for the one shot. Now, when I'm watching this back, I'm like, dude, Jarvan's right there. You know you're dead if you use E here. But sometimes you see the one shot, you're like, what if I kill and my W doesn't aggro to someone else and I can run away? Like, look at the map, man. I see my team is coming. Come on. But look at my mini map. Jarvan's behind me in the space that I can't see. Well, I suck. Yeah, sometimes you stop looking, man. Too busy focusing on if Nami gets hit by this E. If she doesn't, I'm running right to Raptors. No, I'm running right to Dragon Pit, and I'm Wing over because that'll break off in the pit.
I see. That's a good way to escape, yeah. Well, I just want to talk about this here in terms of, like, so if people are face checking bushes a lot of the time, you like to open with E and stun them into a wall. Is that like
single time?
Every time. Okay, so you start with E because yeah, I mean this like a lot of people would just be dead there. I mean, there you go. I mean, you did kill the Nami there, right? So
yeah, I think I said it there too. I think I was at like 1880 and Centered Sky was like 1950. I was like, well, there's no camps, guys. Look, we got the sushi camp. So I die for power spikes. I don't think you should, but man, I'm human, bro. So you see me, instead of going to my camps here, I go to Rift Herald. Again, neutrals. So like how bruisers carry games is neutrals. Okay. So what I do is I will do all my camps. I'll put myself first, of course. Now bruisers do really well early in mid game and even decently into late. So what I try and do is I try and always facilitate the map in a way where I'm always there for the neutrals that I can be every single time, no matter what. And I try and even set up my deaths to where like I won't even risk a fight if I don't know I win it, if it's going to impact the neutral. So you'll see me here because I am very fed in this moment. Jarvan's dead. I'm going to just go straight to the Rift here. Right.
Yeah, your team's all off map on a fresh basis and stuff as well. So this is like, I guess, a good time, a good window to do the objective.
Yeah, it's like just Fizz leaving. I mostly just do the count method where like if Fizz leaves, then that's Rumble. Jarvan's from base, that's Fiora. So if my bot lane is closer than theirs, we're up players. And maybe not everyone can do that, but you play the game enough and you can. So right there, you can see my aggro.
Yeah, that's the aggro thing. That's right. So it was locking you onto the Jarvan, and then you just queue back to it, and that allows you to finish off. So yeah, I guess these are really important, again, things to understand with Briar, so you feel like you have more control over your character in these situations.
Now talk about that ult, right? So that's a miss, but tell me my heart's not in the right place when you look at it. So pause. So why did I shoot it so much to the left? One, because I felt like they would go to the blast cone, and that was a bad guess on my end. But two, I'm not trying to go so aggressively to the right because it's closer to the turret. If there's someone that will split off, you want to catch the person splitting off, not the person already ready to run you under turret, right? So,
so you want to avoid turrets. Is that what you really try and get away from as Briar?
Yeah, it's definitely that, but it's also just like, again, like this ultimate I'm happy with because if someone was willing to split to the blast cone, when the Briar ult hits, they're committing that blast cone. Okay, they are. And that means that I get my one. I get my one for sure. So I sometimes, call it zoning ult, call it what you want. I just call them, if it hits, it ships, and if not, man, I'm fine. I'm going right to dragon. I don't care. It is low risk, low reward. It's fine with me, actually. I'm not too mad about it. Because, and still, right, I can just run at people. I mean, I still have that option, right? So right here, right, dragon spawning, we're up to player, but I'm going to be honest, man, it takes, so right here in this map state, right, like, we're not all going to run towards dragon because our health is low. So now I'm like, okay, take his camps, right? We don't want to lose the dragon for it, but you can't just force your team to all TP to one spot when you want them to. They're low. They have their own scope of how they're going to play the game. So once I realized Fizz died, I'm like, okay, Operation, they know we're going for Dragon. I'm just going to split right to a top play then because they have to pull to bot side. So we're going here. I'm going to hit the wave. And I'm going to go for tier 2 then. The jungle game plan updates so much, so fast.
Adapting. Just be adapting. Always adaptable.
Yeah.
So you like dragons, but you accept, okay, probably can't get dragon, goes to my team, and based on this free camp topside here, I'll just make the play topside with Herald.
Yeah, and the way I see it is like, Dragon Soul is cool. But if they even don't value it, you might get away with a play like that with like just, assuming a bunch of pressure onto them. Now, obviously I didn't get away with it this time, but if you think about it, right, I got his camps 300 gold. That's 300 gold he didn't get, 600 gold now. Tier 2, 700 gold. That was a 1,300 gold play. So if they're going to take my dragon, that's cool. I'm getting 1,000 gold up. Hey man, it is what it is. And make everything a trade. You don't have to answer every play. You don't have to answer every play directly. You have to answer every play in some way, somehow. But and you can see, man, he's never coming back in this game state because what did I do? I took his top side. He's locked to bot side. They push for my bot side. Easy pings, right? Easy. My team walking out of base finds them. And I even greed my clear because I'm like, this is where the ego comes in, right? I'll just hit ult. I'll just hit ult here. So right here, right?
I guess this is the cool thing with Briar. Like, you can simultaneously do your camps and like always be like ready for a play or be able to get to things.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a bit easier to be efficient. And I love this game here, Logan, that you brought. It's like sort of breaking down narratives of like, oh, you can only like impact the map or do your camps. You can't do both. Well, if you have really, really efficient, really good path and really good fighting skirmishing, then you're going to be able to do both. It's possible, but people think it's quite binary with jungle.
Would you mind going back 2 clicks, by the way? Sorry, I know people are going to hate me for this. Just think about this ultimate too. So when the ult hits, we know that we hit Nami, right? So what do? I Q because it's a auto attack, and that will proc Sundered Sky on Galio to kill him. So instead of just running to Nami, right? If you have Sundered Sky, just Q someone. Just Q him. See how much it'll do. And plus, at worst, it just stuns him for my team, heals me a little bit. And Nami's not getting away from Briar ult. It is what it is. So yeah, no, it's sick, man. It's really cool. That's like one of the Sundered Sky things. And again, right, talk about the, impacting the map, right? When, I'm there for every play that I have to be, and I do that just by staring at my mini map and just simply through the scope of what I can do. Okay, when I look at a play, it's never if we do this, I do that. No. It's if I walk to this play, I know for a fact I kill that guy. I kill that guy every time. And that's really all it is. So like when I'm deciding on like ganks, it's never, oh, I need to gank for him to feel better. I don't care how he feels, man. I got to play this game correctly. This game is hard, man. I got to play this game correctly. So I do not care. So yeah, no, I only walk to stuff that I know I get a kill, and that's it. And between that, I'm getting on my camps, and between that, I'm getting objectives. And so you'll see, right? I took his top side. I did my top side. We fought for my bot side. I'm a noob. And then I went to his bot side, got his Krugs, went to his Wolves. Man, I'm taking everything. Their camps are worth double. So if you have the chance to get theirs, take theirs.
And they're worth doubles because you're able to deny a camp and then they can't get anything from your camp. So technically, yeah, that's like, you're gaining.
Yeah, I see it
each
as
camp gets 200 gold.
Yeah, it's money he doesn't get, and it's money I get because it's not implied that he can get mine, and that's not even quantified yet because it's assumed that I do get mine, although I can't say I will. The moment I take your camp, if you're not taking mine in that moment, now there's like this, this worry. Okay, go ahead, go to my camps because we have more information of you going to my camps than you do of me at yours right now. In a situation like that. So once I've taken your top side and I'm going to my top side, I see my top side's up. I know where you are, right? Your bot side somewhere, one of the two sides. So it's much easier for me. By the way, my ults this game, it's funny. I actually chose this game because of that, because I think it's like so real for people to see that like, dude, this champ is so strong, man. The ult is like where you get to be you, man. Are you the cross map sniper? Be it. Are you the demon combo player? I actually didn't show this. Are you the fast combo player, right? That's where you WQ and then ult. Try and use the 0.85 second stun to hit someone because of how wide the hitbox is, right? The 1.25-ish cast time in kick. It's pretty easy to hit. That's like kind of the sauce of it. So, there's times where I sink every ult and I look like the best player on earth, but the reality is that a lot of times I'm carrying games. It's
And
just with
missing
good
ults.
farm.
You're
Yeah,
missing, you're missing
man,
ults. Good
not
farm, and again, just being
what I hit
insanely
one,
strong.
but yeah,
Yeah, I think
no,
it's been
man.
won this game. Yeah.
And again, like this is just a more fun build that I'm going. Like this was a build that I found on Lowalytics that just had a high win rate, and I was like, let me try this shit out. Hubris is doing exceptionally well right now. I'm not going to lie. So with your Hubris player, you're up right here. I know there's no way I missed this. Again, if you just I aim for the open terrain, so that one was shot towards their jungle opening there. That's it. You never want to aim inside terrain, right? You want to aim where they can walk. They can't
I
physically
see.
be in that
So you don't
giant
click
mountain.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
and
want to aim
this
down.
one's
That's where your
the
cursor
axis looks
is.
a little weird here, but yeah, that's the idea. So like you'll see, I'm trying to cover where they can walk, so that a small Otacon wall and their jungle opening is like, those are the prime real estates right there. And again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Where like again, it doesn't really matter what my team is doing. I just play off the hand I'm dealt. If none of my team is here, I'll be somewhere else looking for something else. If I see my team is here, I'm going to start looking for a pick. That's it. A lot of people are like, "Well, Logan, your team, you're always doing something with your team." And it's like, yeah, I actively path to my team to bait them when I'm fed because I will not be the first one in. Let them soak a cooldown, man. Carrying isn't carrying with everyone on your back, man. Not in this game. They're on your back, like figuratively, when you win, right? But in the moment, no, they're in front of me because tank those spells for me, brother, man. We'll be good right after. You tank the spells, we all get 20 LP. It's worth it. It really is worth it. Right there, I was about to run it down under turret, right? You see me just cue the minions.
Yeah, this seems like very practical. It's the second time you've done it there, so yeah, I guess it's not just the E that you can control your character with, about the whole W. It's actually the Q as well. So that's
And what changed in that situation too is that it does save my E because once I queue the minions, Briar has to kill all of them.
Yeah,
and that gives enemy team time to run away, which means that I'm not running towards anything anyway. We're good. But yeah, and then look, man, before the dragon, if I got time, right? 10 seconds on Galio. Hey, man, the camp is the camp. And now I'm highlighting like his build. I'm like, you see, everything does add up, man. One camp in early game. Like think about how a cycle works, right? If every time I do 6 camps, you do 500, 200, 300, 400, right? And it stacks up so fast. Up. And then get yours. Okay, now we're going 1, 300, 500, 700. Right here, this is the embodiment of Briar players. I made sure to keep this. I try and flash out of the Galio ultimate. It doesn't work out. I was really close. Sundered Sky target. I queued the main target that I was hitting, so I don't get extra healing. And my team leaves me high and dry, my boys. And sure, there's the narrative that like, yeah, well, it was 5v4, but like if your fed Briar just hit someone, that guy's dead, right? I can handle this guy. All I need is a little bit of support. But sometimes you're gonna get left, man. It's all right. The way I see that is I shouldn't have looked for it. The reality is that I didn't realize how much they wanted to get away. Down an 80 carry, up a fed Briar. Some teams will die for you there. Some won't. I thought this time they would. I was wrong. So what option did I have? Probably just queuing to the Hextech gate on their side at the bottom of Dragon Pit because you can queue to those and save my W, right? I don't run to the wrong spot and probably take a recall. But Briar players, you have to be thinking of what you could have done different. Because if you get stuck in like, oh, my team left me again, it's like you're going to struggle with this character because you're playing a competitive puzzle. Okay, you have to always be thinking your way around the next thing. So right here, in mid to late game, all I'm doing is if I'm hitting camps, it's doing one of two things: either giving me a level up right now, or it's buying me an item. And that's really it.
I would see a lot of people autopilot the red buff for your Logan. They would autopilot, but because you're like, I have the item, I'm going to get on the map as quickly as possible with the black lever, all right? So I would see this all the time in my coaching sessions reviews that someone would hit the red buff there. And then they might miss the window, right? The team might fight, and then, suddenly you don't have black lever, and that could be... And we've already established how important black lever is in this champion, right?
Yeah.
So this could be game-changing.
Yeah, and just, feel free to anyone go back and look. I mean, I try and use every F word second, man. It is so serious. because like why leave it?
Efficiency, yeah.
Why leave it up to chance, man? If you have 1 second to hit that Raptors, well, like let's not even talk about the fact that getting red buff later is better because right, it's going to last longer when you're actively playing the game. Once I recall, I'm wasting some of the duration. Like that sucks. This is standard steel practice here. I'm sitting here explaining it where I'm like, I have my own pink ward. When I'm ready, I'm going to WQ the Baron, try and W2 smite, and that's all I'm doing here. I see a team fight angle because people are weak. It's either 80 carry or 2 squishy members. Go for 80 carry. They die like nothing. Look for a QE there because mid team fight, the odds of it hitting are really high. WW2, just get the execute and just kind of trickle down, kill everyone else. Pretty
Very
well.
clean.
But yeah, I mean, like the only reason that we're allowed to do that down the players is because 2 of them were just so low. And with Briar, it's either okay, I hit the person that's low, they're insta dead, right? In that situation, I would let the ult hit, and I actually wouldn't use a single spell. I'd just let Briar kill him, and then I'd use my spells on the next target. Because if you W during R, once your R target dies, you don't have W anymore. So you need to be thinking about, do I need to use my W here to get closer and deal W2 damage or so on? So yeah, once I saw that they were low, it's like, yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting for my turn here. So, before you're ever going for these big steals or big plays, take a deep breath. Get as much
Yeah,
oxygen
you're
to your
very
brain.
patient here.
Yeah, man.
Very patient. Yeah, and also this is where I think red sweeper trigger looks really important for as well, because you need to know that they don't see you come in as well, denying vision.
Yeah, I'm a big sweeper player. It matches my playstyle a ton. People ask me about warding totem for more ward hops because Briar can queue to them. More times than not, when you're queuing, you're hitting an enemy. I'm going to keep it honest. So, plus, like the way I see it is, I don't have to run away from fights and dodge, enemy teams stuff when I have a ward. If I'm just putting myself in the right spot and they don't know where I am. So that's how I address that. However you do is completely fine, but that's how I do. So yeah, standard Baron here with their team all dead. Like maybe there's the argument that we could have ended. I don't think it's ever worth trying with 20 seconds. Usually around 35, 40, you can end the game from anywhere. So I sync up my camps right here to when my team is ready to go. So you can see if Fizz is in base, I'm still farming, right? So I see Fizz right there. I know that he's recalling, right? He's going to recall soon because like people only do enemy teams camps when they're leaving. Right, you do what you do, take their camps, you leave. So once I saw him recall, I bet another Gromp, man. I will never fall off because I'm always farm first. I do not care about this little fight. I want so far from this fight because my Fizz is not here. And yeah, man, it's a good farm game. You won't always get stuff like this, man. I will say like if you're ever looking at your VODs, okay, your first 4 deaths, those are the ones that matter. Look at your first 4 deaths because once you're at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deaths, the game is already in this spot that it's out of your hands now. You've already made so many mistakes.
Situation.
Yeah. You should never openly be in that and then try and fix from there. Fix your first 4 deaths.
A lot of people think that Briar's like this high death champion, Logan, where it's like, oh, like I'm just gonna die a lot, and like because I can't control my character, you just run in and die or whatever it is. What would you say to that? Because this game you're 13-2.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, like there are times where like let's say I'm behind or I check out, I autopilot again. I'm human. I try not to, man, but sometimes you just do. Okay. I will say that like community perception is a lot of the reason that people think Briar's high death because if you go to League of Graphs and you look at highest death champions, Briar's are like in top 3 24/7.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I think those stats are like gold and under too, like where they pull that from. But like, dude, you shouldn't be dying a lot. Okay, there's no excuse for that. And that applies to me and it applies to you. It applies to everyone. Okay. Yeah, she will be high death in your first 20 games. You're gonna run it down, bro. You really will. But much like any other champ, you shouldn't be dying because dying means you're not farming. It means that they are farming, and that means you're losing. So no, I don't think she should be played high death. I would say, if you look at my KDAs, I go for 4 deaths. My KDA average 4 deaths, but that's with playing forward. I never play for KDA. I will die for anyone on my team if I think they'll carry more than me. Don't care. I will die immediately. It's right there.
Mindset, yeah.
Now, this is actually a hawk shot ult. Don't want him to get the soul. I'm just like, bet. I'll check it.
Yeah.
And especially late game. Look, I have a 50-second ult cooldown, man. If I'm getting soul for 45 seconds, that's fine, man. By the time I get to your base after killing this dragon, I volt again. I volt when it matters. And if they tried to contest right now, they're down an 80 carry, and it's GG anyway. So yeah, she's not high death, bro. Average 4 deaths and average 7 farm. And if you can do that while not actively pursuing those things, just in the pursuit to playing better, you will end up there. It'll be very good for you. So right here, long wall jumps here. Just look for a fast combo and then E. Again, that's the chunk I'm talking about, where I don't need to kill you. You're so much easier to kill from half health than 100. So yeah, I always just look for a chunk, get the wave state synced, right? Good play. Good play first before good play on your champ. Be a good player. Then be good at your champ. So this guy sends it. I'm sitting here waiting for Nami to step out with bubble. I was going to one-shot her. I'm going to farm a little bit. But yeah, there you go, man. That's what we're going for.
All right, so Logan, this is our player, Emerald 4 player on NA, and this guy's got 714 games of Briar, 53% win rate. I think he literally just got to Emerald. I think we're going to be looking at a game. He was Platinum 1, one of the games that he was close to promoting. Looks like the build, he's going the stock standard build here, the Titanic into Black Cleaver. Anything else you're noticing in terms of this OPGG here? Quite high deaths a lot of these games, right? Yeah. So this is the high death Briar player we're talking about. 14 deaths this game.
Yeah, man. 2 things I noticed. One is when he loses, he gets ace. That means that you're close to carrying, but you're dying for your team. You're not disciplined. That's all that means. If you just focus up, you stop dying for team, you keep farming, you'll be strong enough to find and wait for that opportunity. So if you're getting a lot of aces with high deaths, yes, you are making good plays, but you're not making enough good plays to carry some of these, more neutral teams. And then 2, he swaps his rune often. You can see some lethal tempo, some conqueror,
Conqueror. What
some
the hell is
PTAs
this?
in there. And there are some builds that do go lethal tempo. Most of the lethal tempo builds are Bork first. So if you see him going lethal tempo without Bork first, he's likely doing a bit of trolling. I'll say Conqueror is technically a good rune, but it almost always is outshined by PTA. Sure, in like super long fights, if you can predict that you'll need the healing, Conqueror can be very good. But the reality is that like your foresight within that is not always very fair. So I would say these Conquer games should be PTA trying to snowball off of it. And the lethal tempo ones, if they're paired with Bork, it can be very good. I don't think you should really go lethal tempo, Titanic, DD, right? Like, although the extra auto tech does help you stack up lethal tempo anymore, PTA just will outclass it there with your short burst and resetting your cooldowns. You leave yourself like this spot where I don't need to auto attack as much, and I can just burst you out and one tap you. So, yeah, we'll look forward to what he does.
All right, let's look at his gameplay now here, Logan. If you are serious about climbing the rank ladder and want to improve, we have over 8,000 members over in our free school community. There we update tier lists every patch. We have masterclasses on how to build your champion pool as well as solo queue mindset. Link will be in the description below. Let's get back to Briar with Logan.
But yeah, so pathing here, I'm definitely pathing bot here, but also more specifically in this game, ganking Ornn fed or not fed does the same thing. He tanks and he shoots ultimate, tries to knock you up with it. So 100% I'm going bot lane here. I will always be approaching their bot lane with a sideways W on Vel'Koz E. And if I don't have sideways W, this person's jungle clear is already a little bit wrong, but that'll likely add up. I think with these mistakes, they're at about 312. They messed up their second
so what's
W.
The mistake here?
They held their second W for a hot second, so you can see that timing does mess you up.
Yep.
You want to get that on cooldown ASAP because that now has slowed down this W and the next and the next and the next. He's actually.
But the pathing is great, right, Logan? Like blue start, like this is exactly what you would have done, right? Blue start, and then on the other side up you do Raptor start, right? So you want to go full clear top to top. So this is awesome pathing, great start, right?
Yeah. I have a rule. I say see a Silas path to a Silas, so I would be ganking Ziggs here if he was low enough health. Seems like he's full health, so I wouldn't have. That's true. I would not have shown on the minions walking to my Raptors there. I would have actually walked lower. Never give free information as jungle. You are the X factor. So once they saw you, they know your path. They know where you will be. They know where you can be.
So you'll do it slower. Like, does that faster jump over the wall here, or you would just run this direction?
I would take the 1 second loss and then W over this little wall.
So important to not show vision. I see.
Yeah. You are the X factor. This guy's clear is actually pretty clean now. One, if he does 2 and then walks, he's the smartest player ever. Wow, this guy knows what he's doing. Good job. Yeah, really good. Mid laner DC, so you can see he got like a 317 there, like, man, 9 seconds, 10 seconds. So right here I would camp Tribush and I would wait and see what Kane does. I would walk to Tribush. I would have likely swept my their Pixel Bush into their Tribush, and I would be actually standing here.
Oh, you have Sweeper. You still take Sweeper level 1, do you?
Yeah, I drop a ward every game on Top River at 50 seconds, then recall for Sweeper. I'd be standing in their bush, and I'd be looking for that full kill on Kane. I do walk to their try.
So you prioritize kills over crab. So this is why you were saying before, like, you hate first crab. You're always looking for the counterplay or whatever over the crab. Crab's like last resort. Is that the mindset?
Yep, 100%. I mean, if I can get a double crab, I would. But now, like, if you look at the game right now, Kane face checks into you, you full kill him on that tri-bush right there. And or if you got the vision from the tri-bush, you would have just W'd and took the Gromp from him. In this matchup, you can always just hit Kane. It doesn't matter. His early game is really bad. His red form is really good. So right here in this moment, you see that his Raptors spawning. Kane's do Raptors spawn, Raptor start all the time. So this crab, you're trolling, man. You carry the game here. What is that?
He did do it. Yeah, but that guy still, but then he gets there in time, right? Yeah.
And he actually did win the 50-50, but look at how you die now. You die because you didn't realize that their level 4 Raptors is not more worth than a level 1 crab. And that
so close. He's so close. He had the right idea, just too slow, too late, right?
Very, very close. And now Kane actually has a timer on your Gromp if he wants to smite it. So you might go down, the camp.
Yeah, he has. Catastrophe. What a catastrophe. And
that right there is that's like a 400 gold mistake, because now you're not going to get level up on timer. You did get his camp, you lost your camp for it, and you died and lost time. So right here, this is like butterfly effect.
Wait, quick question here. What would you have bought on this base with 1200 gold?
This for sure is a Tunneler Pink Ward game.
Okay.
Because once again, you get Tiamat for the extra farm. Well, once you died his Raptors, you know that you saw Kane walking down. You know Kane's going to take your Gromp. So I'm not on object farm mode, right? I'm on skirmish mode now. That's how I see it. But again, this has just been a pretty scrappy game. I mean, already. So I would have already done it. Sending a bot here isn't that bad. If you have the timer to just go collect, that's fine. But be disciplined. Go right. Like, you're never going to hit Ash here. Go right back to your Krugs ASAP. I suspect you will waste a lot of time right now. E first and smite. You smite because you have 2 charges. But again, you're trying to take this with no mid prio. Enemy jungler will be here, and their bot lane is coming back from base. So you do have the advantage on the timer here, but there is increased variable here of, does your team actually play for you? Does your bot lane actually walk with half health? So we'll see. I think you should be doing your Krugs here. Let Kane start the dragon, then try and counterplay him. Take the recall, go to your top side.
This is a classic jungle mistake where they think, oh, I've killed bot, it's a free dragon, but your bot lane doesn't want to help you on dragon. They want a base. This is what I call fake priority. It's like, priority, but junglers do the most obvious things here, clearly going, to the dragon here, right? So, yeah.
And again, it does look good from your POV because you do have double smite where you're like 1200. Come on, man. Good combo. You could go back and check and see if he did his combo correctly. He might have had the damage to do this. So you want to W forward, auto attack, Q auto, Tiamat, Q auto. Yeah, no, sorry, you missed too much damage to do that.
Okay.
So you could have killed him there if you had a better combo there. It does line up that you just have a lot of pressure on you, and Vel'Koz is pressuring you immediately. But a frame perfect combo does kill Kane there. Again, that could add up. But again, you being at that dragon in the first place was already wrong and set you up badly. Again, your teammates are more like, try and think of them like AI, if it helps you, where if you think of laners as when they're always at 50% health, they will never walk to you. Think of it that way, because it's pretty true. Good mid-range ultimate, a lot better than me that game. That's exactly what you're trying to do. Great job. And then right to the Krugs, or to the Grubs. I love this. When you get 2-man invaded here, It does feel really bad. I would have taken a little bit longer to start it, and maybe I would have even like checked the banana bush a little bit more. You do know that you and Kane are doing the same exact path. If you're topside, he is topside, so you should have done a little bit more due diligence. And you last saw
It's
Ziggs walking and
sort
your
of the
status recall.
same thing, right? Again, where it's like we're doing the obvious things as jungler. We're showing top, we kill top, and then we're doing the grubs. It's like the exact same mistake as Dragon, and then like mid bot spacing, and then I guess Trinimir is like
He's
mindset probably
AI,
doesn't want to help with
right?
the grubs. He wants to shove him the next wave, probably, right?
Yep.
So we keep doing the obvious thing and giving them options, yeah. And then now the Ziggs is here, and it's just free.
And it's worth just talking about even when you went back just for 1 second again, just to like set up and see if they'll tell you what see if they will show you what they're going to counterplay you with for a second. So right here, I would pull these out really
You'll go
really
back to
hard.
camps. Would you go
Now,
back to camps here and just let them, or you would do this? Just be very careful doing this.
I mean, like I myself, I probably would have seen that my Silas was recalling and then went to camps. But even if you're going
Yeah,
to stick
okay.
to this play, just see if they will show a little bit before. Don't W so early here, right? Your third one just got stacked, and then you go from this angle. First of all, you want to W to the middle one so that your AoE of W hits the top one. So you pulled them, but then hit a single target one, so your W's not even lined up correctly.
So you want to W the middle one.
Yep.
Yeah, I see. Because it's not hitting that last one. Okay. Yeah.
And that's where, like, maybe had you set up that W a little bit better, maybe that timing Kane would have shown you could have lived. But right there, you do know that Ziggs is coming and that Silas is leaving. So I would have chalked these up.
And this is where we start seeing, you talk about you really prioritizing your experience in gold and your camps. We've just died now again with all our camps up. This is where we're just going to be just dropping off the face of the earth and just being behind.
Yes, sir.
You can't be doing this as Briar, right?
Yeah, you just, I mean, like even as any champ, but mostly Briar. Again, Briar doesn't function from behind like other champs do, right? Some champs like Lilia from behind can at least get 5-man sleep. Briar from behind, a lot worse of a champion. So you need to be super disciplined. Right here, you see an ult angle. You go for a WW2 onto Ashe. Solid shot. Again, the mid-range ones are the really good ones now. Immediate Q into auto, T-Mat, dash forward, auto W2. You just W2, that's fine. Right here, I would probably just space around the Ziggs bombs till my next W. My teammate's dead, he's dead. Tap E, you're cultured, bro. What the hell? This guy is actually like locked on Briar. Briar.
So what does the tap E do? Is it like a quick little slow?
Yeah, if you don't full charge it, it's an 80% slow for half a second. So right here, just tap E slow so that you can get better positioning. You're actually cultured, bro. What the hell? Like this, I see these Emerald players, right? These guys are just like, I'm not trying to be mean. They're just not good junglers yet. They're good Briars.
They understand the mechanics and stuff like that, but they're just missing a little bit on.
And again, it's like it's super small things, right? It's like your discipline is low. That's it. You fix that, and you'll be surprised just how fast you skyrocket. Like, I mean, I would say this person has like two main issues, and the main one is just discipline, and that's probably the difference between you being diamond by tomorrow. Really, I don't think that's crazy to say at all. So right
what do you think about this here? So we've got our camps up here. We're looking to gank mid. So this is where just lack of discipline. There's no gank to be done. There's no wave that Ziggs is contesting here. Maybe he might be saying, well, Logan, you tell me that I need to be going for dragons.
You're damn right I do.
Be going for dragon?
Romp wolves, raptors to dragon. You're damn right.
Just do it more efficiently.
Yeah, the way that I see it, again, man, it's like you can go stand a dragon for 20 seconds, or you can be late to dragon with 3 camps in your pocket. 3 camps, man. And, I mean, just look at this situation, right? You showed on midwave. They know where you're going.
Yeah, we keep showing on the map. And it's like all these things just constantly just showing on ganks, making it obvious.
Good ult. Sideways W. If you sideways W the Kane W, you kill him immediately. You do have to use your flash for that. Now you can set up. I would go straight to the dragon. I start this dragon ASAP. But one of the things that you guys don't do is ping enough. Okay? You're letting your team think. Never let your team think, man. Need to ping more, right? Silas recalling, not a chance in hell on my team, man. That's 4 assistance pings right there until I see him walk. And if I see him not walk, I have to leave this, right? Because we just don't have the numbers anymore. Again, man, they're coming on fresh recalls. They're coming right to you, fresh recalls, and they're going to likely win this fight. And you can see how close this fight is. Like, oh, that fight was close. It's those recalls. That's actually what makes it close. They're doing that little bit more damage. They're tanking that little bit more. Um, yeah, and even just the timing of taking the space on river, man. If you get your Silas there, maybe he finds an angle. Maybe he runs it down and makes it more obvious that you need to leave. I mean, you never know. Holding your ultimate because you're overlooking a dragon is real. I would just queue the dragon and then go for that smite, and then I would just ult one of them right now. You have no reason not to. You kill anyone on ult here. So I would actually auto Titanic. I would just
you don't
auto.
W. You want to save your W for the fight. Is that the idea?
So like right there again, that is like smart to WQ things when you need to, but in that situation you didn't need to. Good ult, as you can see, someone immediately dies if you hit ult. It just doesn't matter. This fight is one of those, like, if it works, and you look really smart. But the reality is that they're coming out of base. Again, you're taking active numbers disadvantage for the chance of winning. Once you get the dragon, what do? 6 camps up. You're dead again. 25 seconds on your next cycle.
87 farm at 15 minutes. And you're probably not winning Briar games with this.
No.
Is that would be your mindset? Yeah.
You're not carrying games like this. Like you could win some even games like this, but these are the games that are the difference between you slamming straight through Emerald and having some pushback, because you got to carry these games. You can't just win these games. You got to carry these games.
So we'll end the review there for Sung Lee. You talk a lot about the first 4 or 5 deaths, Logan. You say that those are the really important ones that you need to be looking at. Again, we're just not farmed up at all.
Yeah.
We're 2 levels behind the Ziggs. We're 2 levels behind the Orm. Again, we're not really going to be able to carry. So yeah, what are some tips you would be giving Sung Lee here, this Briar, overall?
Yeah, I mean, we mostly talked about it. It's just that discipline on the farm, man. It really is. And again, it's like, it's hard to prove it, but when you guys start realizing it, that the butterfly effect is when I'm doing all my camps and now plays are just finding me. The reality is that when you full clear and you see my next camp isn't up for 50 seconds, I can do whatever I want for 50 seconds. Now, if that play goes terribly, right to my camps, I'm back, right? But now when you're dying after getting dragon with 6 camps up, you just delayed 600 gold. You delayed your next 600 and your next and your next. So camps are a butterfly effect. That's why it's so important to be so disciplined on them. And you can see this guy's certified. His Briar clear was like almost, it was really good.
Yeah, he does some things really well.
Tap B was really good. Your combos could be a little bit cleaner, but I mean, who's couldn't be, So I think this guy played really well. Again, this is like the air quote mid elo, low elo concept where, again, you guys oftentimes lower elo players are so locked in on like, oh, but I shit on their jungler or that. Nothing matters but win or loss. Do what you got to do to win. That's it. Right. So, it doesn't matter if you're ahead of Kane this game. He saw plus 20. It is what it is. Do what you got to do to win. It doesn't matter. Once you beat enemy jungler, and then you feel like, oh man, I beat enemy jungler. Now this game's a win, even if I lose it. No. LP. That's it. It's kind of a weird one.
My final question for you, Logan, here is acting a bit more of like a Briar salesman here. Why should more people be playing Briar? What do you love about Briar, I guess, maybe is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I played every jungler before Briar. I played every single jungler. I was just oh, this is strong, let's play that. Oh, this is cool, that's play that. The reality is that, like, when I played Briar for the first time, I did okay, but I felt like I was like, damn, there's something I'm doing wrong here. And I got kind of frustrated. I was like, dude, I'm not playing well enough. Right. And
so why did you not give up? Why did you not just give up on the champion? Like, were you just not comfortable with the W mechanic, or?
Yeah, I'm just I'm kind of addicted to learning. And I think like people should be trying to aim towards that, man. And if I find something that I'm like, I want to be good at this, I don't care what it costs, I do that. And that's what made me stick with it, is like, I played the champ and I was like, that was a lot of fun. I can tell that there's something more here, and that's it. It just, so, how people say they found their main. I was like, I didn't say I'm going to be a Briar main. I played her. I was like, there's something here. And then, I was like, I mean, still to this day, I'm still finding out more stuff. And that's the cool thing, where, like, when I played Graves, I wasn't finding out Graves tech every day. Yeah, I was just seeing someone mess up and I punished them for it. But Briar, I'm getting better every day. So just addicted to learning, man. That's all it is. It's really all it is.
Awesome, Logan. Well, very informative. I love just the narrative break-in. I always love when I get people on this show, and I would see a Briar player, again, people that have the community narrative is like high deaths, and I'm just gonna go for kills all the time. But you're just like playing like the quote-unquote AFK farm game, which we talked about, which is not actually AFK farm, which is good League of Legends, and we're able to carry games with it.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
Any final shout-outs, Logan?
Yeah, man. Shout out my boy Nathan Mott, man, for having me on. We go way back, man. At least like 10 years now. We've been doing this shit. But no, thank you. Just thank you for having me, man. This was a lot of fun. Anytime you guys are doing anything Briar, man, let me know. I'm happy to help. Please let me help with Briar stuff. But other than that, man, I'm just super grateful to be here on this earth, this side of the grass, man, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, for anyone that, again, wants to learn more about Briar, you do YouTube videos. We'll have you tagged there, and you stream on Twitch as well, a bit as well. Is that right?
I do. I didn't know if that was okay to say, and I realized I started saying
links
it a little bit.
We'll be chucking links there, dude.
But yeah, thank you.
You're the Briar guy. I think you're currently the highest ranked Briar player, right?
Yes.
In NA currently?
Yes. In the world, not to flex. Like out of all the,
you got to be doing the Korean boot camp soon, Logan. To prove you can do it multi servers.
Dude, maybe you could help me with that someday. I know you got to go, but like
potentially,
I would like to do that. I just don't know how to even get started, man. So I don't know, do my thing. But yeah, I'm currently number.
Follow Logan. Follow Logan, number 1 Briar player. Links with the description below, and we'll see you guys on our next episode.
Thank you so much, man.